Caps, mga kapamilya, kapuso, kapatid, kabarkada, mga katipuneros. It's time to level up with your host, multi-awarded multimedia guru, Noel FERRER, here on All Caps, Ateneo Level Up. Level up, level up, level up. All Caps, mga Atinista, it's time to level up. Level up. Your talk variety program showcasing the best in media and other fields. As we feature the most loved personalities and the best practices of what we truly refer to as Magis. Together with multi-awarded multimedia guru Mr. Noel FERRER, let's all level up every Fridays from 3 to 6 p.m. here on Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM. Level up! All Caps, mga kapamilya, kapuso, kapatid, kabarkada, mga katipuneros. It's time to level up with your host, multi-awarded multimedia guru Noel FERRER, here on All Caps, Ateneo Level Up. Level up, level up, level up.
Okay. All good, all ready, and all the best. All Caps, mga Atenista, mga kaibigan, kapatid, kabarkada, kapuso, kapamilya. Hindi naanan nyo lahat yun. Dito sa Ateneo Campus Radio, it's time for us to level up. This is your talk variety program showcasing the best in media and other fields as we feature our most loved personalities and the best practices of what we truly call Magis. So I am Noel FERRER, 1989 AB Philosophy, nag-masters sa Communications. Nga pala, happy birthday to my teacher, Dong Puno, who was with us in media, a certain point. And let our guests be the ones to say their batches and their courses. I actually miss them because this is the first time they're together na magsasalita sila ng matagal. Kasi nakita sila sa TV recently, pero naglaro lang sila ng game. Dahil ka na bumati ng happy anniversary. Now, sino mauuna? Mas matanda, mas... No, I actually just miss them because yun, magka-batch po sila 1996 sa college. And what was that in high school?
92.
1992 in high school. So, unahin natin, sino to? Yung unang dumating. Sige, go. Yung galing Makati kanina na nandito na maaga kasi yun. And I actually miss him also because he traveled the world before he finally got back here. But the last time he was here was during the bonfire in December. Here's Hans Montenegro.
Good afternoon.
Yay!
Hi, Noel. Teka, wag kang ganyan kasi silence bell ang dating.
Silence bell? No. Actually, it is when you want to like stress a point or like avoid a point. So, but in any case, how are you?
Very good.
What's good in you with Hans?
Montenegro, batch 96, psychology.
Psychology, and
batch
then
92, high school.
Section what?
D.
Section D.
Shout out.
Ateneo all throughout?
No, I went to Xavier for elementary.
Yun na nga kasi in one of our talks, sabi mo, marami kang kaibigan sa Xavier.
So, Xavier Elementary, Ateneo for high school and college, and then Santa Clara University in the States for masters.
Ayan na.
Jesuit.
And doctorate.
Jesuit through and through.
Ayan na. Go. So, and here's another person we all miss. Galing ng Negros Occidental. Anong tawag mo?
Himamaylan, Negros Occidental.
Sabi ko sa doon, bagay sa kanya talaga.
Nangangampanya na po.
Aga. Someone we also miss, Paolo Bediones. Pao, okay, game.
Yes, good afternoon everyone, and Noel, thank you for inviting me. Finally,
yes.
tayo.
Finally, and you had to be here, no?
You had to be here. Yes. So batch 96, ABIS, shout out to all of my batchmates.
Pero, palagi kang kasama ng psych block.
Yes.
Okay, game.
Yes, and then batch 92 for high school, section J.
Na semi-honors.
Semi-honors.
Incidentally, we were the first ever section K.
Talaga? May
but
ganon.
Then section got disbanded for second year.
Dahil?
So, J kami.
So
kasi E ako dati, tapos naging D.
So na-push
up. So kung siya semi-honor, kami dishonor.
So when you say IS, interdisciplinary studies, ano yung pinagsama mong dalawang kursa pa?
The cluster would be business and psychology.
Makes sense.
So it's interesting because when you start off in the first year and second year of college, you try to decide where do you want to go.
That's true.
And ABIS is one of those the most flexible, I guess.
That's true.
Courses, wherein you can combine things like math and literature.
Yes.
or communications and psychology.
Tama naman yun.
I felt business and psychology made a lot of sense.
Totoo naman yan.
And it also was more practical for me because my dad was always a businessman, and I was observing him all his life and all my life basically in the business world. So I wanted to know, what made him tick.
So marami siyang pinagsamang taga-business at saka yung nasa psych. Anyway, so here, all caps will celebrate who we were, who we loved, and what we stand for, and what's next. So the first, looking back part, memories of student life. What kind of student were you?
Wow.
Were you diligent? Were you nerdy? Were you like...
Yeah, I guess you can say I was aligned with a diligent group because it was always, instilled in me na I had to get good grades to get a good job. And the good grades had to start from high school, and then it had to continue in college, and then after that,
You had any other options? Like kunyari, nag-exam ka ng UP or you wanted another course elsewhere or Ateneo talaga?
Well, Ateneo was my first choice. But I did take the UP exam and I did pass there. But I started...
Siya pala yung may loyalty award.
Yes. I started Ateneo prep pa lang.
Prep ka, di ba? Prep to college.
Prep to college.
Okay, so
loyalty award.
Unicorn na
loyalty award. Ikaw, were you diligent? Were you like...
Alam mo, I can't say it. I cannot say it with a straight face. I can tell you that I studied when I had to study. But athletics were an important part of my scholastic life.
And you too, no? Because you said you were together in intramurals.
Intramural football kami ni Pao, magka-teammate nung college. But I played for the school, both high school and college for volleyball.
For volleyball.
Nung pinagpapaktisan kami ng ibang school pa. At sa College of Human Kinetics sa UP pa yung game. Ngayon, MOA na eh, social na eh.
While volleyball, while Paolo played naman for the guitar for someone.
Paolo was musikero si Paolo.
Musikero ka na nun pa lang. So
my history with music started with Sibol.
Sibol.
With Dulang Sibol.
Ayun, kaya pala senti ka pa. Yun talaga.
So Sibol kasi, you're required to learn an instrument. And back then, I chose the guitar first and then the piano after.
My image of Pao really is, nasa Colayco Hall siya nung college. Talaga nasa with the guitar.
Palaging may gitara.
May gitara,
Kasi even in our outside school
we
church
were in a band
group
together. What are you talking about?
We were in a band, pero nung 13, 14, di ba, we were in a church group in San Antonio. Gitarista na si Pao eh.
Luke 18, we were there.
Antioch and all that, no?
Okay. So, ganun. So,
alam mo naman yung mga sinner yung pinakamalapit sa Diyos, di ba?
Ganda. Saan yung tambayan nyo nun, nung college?
Well, definitely Colayco.
Colayco talaga eh.
Doon lang talaga.
Like they were really active in student. And I was in the student affairs. So I saw
Doon
their
yung
affair.
office mo.
So I saw their affair. So si
Ganda
Hans
segue
would always
yun,
be there sa Regcom. No, you were really active in the Regcom and would carry benches. Kung kailangan may mga foundation day, mga ganon.
Ganon, no.
Si Pao will always be there playing for the guitar, and then yun talaga people para kang Pied Piper during that time.
Well, we enjoyed music.
Who was your group?
I didn't have my own group from my own course. I guess I was adopted in a way.
Group. Paragi siyang nasa psych block tambayan. And
Sina Orven ngayon
until today, when you told me IS ka, I had forgotten na hindi ka pala psych.
Yeah.
Ako rin kala
as far as I was concerned, psych ka, but I always thought
kasi yung
AB.
girlfriend niya, kailangan ko na sabihin.
Kasi
blackmate nilang taga-psych. Nakala ko kayo magkakatuluyan.
Ganun talaga ang buhay. You never know.
May ganun pa.
You can tell.
You're still in touch with Pia?
Well, not
Pia Reyes, okay, go.
Not
I miss her kasi kala ko, doon, kaya ang ganda-ganda nyo lang talaga tingnan. At saka yun talagang sobrang yung mahal yung isa't isa.
Yes, I mean,
what happened?
These are things that, when you're in college, you really try to squeeze as much as you can from the experience in the relationship.
At ang saya-saya nyo nun.
But yun nga, all of us, I think we all had different kinds of dreams after college. Some had dreams of making it elsewhere. Some had dreams of pursuing further studies. Some had dreams of, taking a gap year Others naman would like to probably look for a job agad and look for that security. Kasi
tinatanong ng batchmates mo, si Pia wala kayong pinag-awayan, di ba?
Wala masyado.
Wala. At saka parang good memories of each other.
All
She
good
was such a,
memories.
di ba?
All very good memories.
Kayo talaga parang
Actually, the psych block still gets together until today. Like
You joined them?
We had
Kami ni Hans, we had a group of siguro we were 5. You, me, Ed, Papo, Jojo.
Papo, my God, Papo. Okay.
And we would travel to Jajangas, and we would have like a wonderful summer there with Papo's parents.
Oo.
One of the most memorable vacations
Papa of
ever.
Isa, no?
yes, Papo
Yes, yes.
Ongante,
Oo,
yes.
yes.
Yeah.
Who I still see
that's
until
good.
now, si Jojo Ampilocchio, he's in media.
Yeah, I see.
So I see him often as well. Si Ed lang, hindi ko nakikita.
Ang si Ed ang nakikita ko kasi we both live in Salcedo Village.
Okay.
So, yeah. But that batch, whether we're ito,
Solid,
high school,
no? That is a solid.
yung high school batch namin, ako at least in my opinion, mula nung plinano natin yung homecoming,
Yes.
ever since then, the batch has its own Viber group and we keep in touch a lot
Yes.
more now than we used to.
Yes.
So what characterized the friendship nung high school? Yun yung talagang mawawala. Well, hindi mawawala, di ba? Like even if you are in media or other fields already, iba talaga yung binabalikan mong barkada or kaibigan nung high school pa.
Iba. Tsaka hindi mo maintindihan yung impact ng homecoming until it's your batch. Because I've been to a few of the other homecomings before our batch. Then it feels like one big party. Pero
That's
kami
true.
pa yung kinuhang host for
Right.
our homecoming.
That's right.
Iba yung hatak, iba yung
The pressure was different.
sapul sa puso.
And the references.
Yeah.
Talaga.
Tsaka yung you banded together to make sure that it was a good homecoming, that you had the funding, the pledges, you raised the funds. And then may pride because you're turning over a check and then you're helping the next batch after you, di ba? So,
It still happens now at saka binibigyan nila ngayon Jesuit aid. Yung
ibang
mga
klase
aid
yung
niya.
feeling na you really are a community again.
That's true. Pero ano yung mga concerns ng batch nyo ngayon? When you like meet again?
Well, normally, what we do is for the Viber group, aside from the usual birthday greetings
That's
and
true.
whatnot,
That's true.
if there are any batchmates that require any medical assistance, any
Yun.
medical
May
advice,
ganun, support,
or sometimes even financial
May health
support.
component na lahat ng mga talks, di ba?
Meron kasi, nakaranas na rin kami ng mga batchmates na nauna na sa amin.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
eventually
That's true.
somebody said, guys, may nangyari, can we raise funds for, let's say,
Galing.
masakit man na doon na lang nangyayari, can we raise funds for his hospitalization or his
True.
funeral?
That's true.
Yes.
So finally, somebody in the batch said, maybe we need to put a fund together to
Yeah.
help,
Galing.
our other
Galing.
batchmates, which, of course,
So,
diba?
yan yung madam, hindi mo mawawala talaga dun sa yung malasakit mo dun sa match mo. At saka yung affinity na kahit nasa field kayo, nagsasama-sama.
Actually, pag magsama-sama, nobody cares what you do for a living.
That's true.
You're
That's
transported
true.
back
That's
to high
true.
school.
Right. And in fact, the personalities
Ang ganda.
remain the same.
That's
Oh.
true. That's true.
The personalities are absolutely the same. We talk about all the time that when we're together with our batch, walang CEO, walang
Wala.
negosyante.
Totoo yan.
There's no. It doesn't matter what you do in life.
At walang personal na interest. Walang hindi yun yung
Hindi.
pinag-usapan.
I remember that was, I enjoyed
Ang
that
ganda.
part na
High school.
nobody came into the reunion wearing their title on their sleeve.
Right.
Parang
Yes,
lahat tayo yung mga gago pa rin from high school. Diba? Enjoy pa rin. It was just about having fun.
That's true.
Which, in
That's
this day and age, that's rare na eh.
Right.
Parang may agenda pa lang.
Totoo yun
In fact, I think it
Naiisipin mo yun, no? Parang, bakit kaya mi-meet nito, no? Pero dito pag ganyang reunion, wala.
It's basically an unspoken rule that you do
That's
not
true.
wear your rank on your
That's
sleeve.
true.
And
That's
everyone
true.
understood that. And if anyone even tried to cross that line, that person will feel it na,
Off.
not here, buddy. Not
True,
here. I mean, this is
true.
not the time nor the place.
But how different is it with the college batch? Parang iba. Iba ba? Like from the high school kasi parang mas kababata, sabay
Yeah,
tayong
kababata,
sabay tayong
brotherhood.
lumaki, parang gano'n. Sabay tayong nagloko, parang mga ganong klase. Paano college medyo kakaiba?
College kasi, like it or not, may pressure na what
To
are
achieve.
you going to do after
Yeah, that's
after
true, that's
college,
There's a
diba?
countdown.
Yes.
There's a countdown to improve your.
Yes. Oo, kasi
Kung kumbaga yung high school, mag-aral ka para maka-college ka.
that's true.
Sa college, mag-aral ka kung ayaw mo magutom.
Totoo yun.
'Di ba?
Totoo
Or
yun.
ano
Totoo yun.
yung gagawin natin sa buhay.
Totoo yun.
But
So-
one of the insights that I guess you can glean from our batchmates in high school, those who were notorious back in high school, those who this is interesting. Those who sabihin natin, for lack of a better term, maparaan o madiskarte,
sila yung
they're the ones who
nagsasucceed, no?
succeeded.
That's true.
Yes.
That's true.
I agree.
At ang sabi nga ngayon, yung range ng pwede mong hindi yung specialization na ngayon. Those people who can do a lot of things are the ones succeeding actually.
Correct.
Hindi yung, brilliant. Parang gano'n. But only doing one thing. Ngayon, kasi ngayon, multitasking yung mga tao.
I mean, kung tignan mo si Pao went the arts, entertainment,
but did
diba?
Business.
And I went corporate.
Yeah.
I can tell you, in either one, the most adaptable, not necessarily the smartest,
That's true.
but the most adaptable one, the one who's quickest to change. Di ba nga ngayon may term early adapter?
Yes. Yes.
Di ba?
Yes.
So it's not, hindi naman sa dinidisregard ko yung virtue ng mag-aral ka ng mabuti
Yes,
because
yes.
diligence and discipline,
naman. Iba pa rin
those
yun.
are tried and tested,
Yes.
di ba? Pero there are people kasi na disiplinado pero pag nakatikim ng pagsubok,
Wala na.
nag-analysis paralysis Kasi they're so used to everything going their way.
Yes.
Diba? And then all of a sudden, life will throw them a curveball. Mas mabagal silang mag-recover.
Yeah.
Whereas yung mga bulak-bolero, we're used to failing. We're used to doing things wrong. We're used to being told na, hoy, mali yan.
Yeah.
We rebound
But there's
quicker.
wisdom to it, yeah.
But we rebound a lot quicker. We're more
That's true.
resilient to being told mali ka.
Yes.
You know, do a better job. Okay, define. We'll
But
bounce
everything
back.
evens out.
Yes.
All together.
Yes.
Probably for the students, especially nowadays, so what they really have to
Ganda.
work on is that work-life balance or
That's true.
student work-life balance.
That's true.
Wherein go out, have fun, yes, but
Yeah.
also have that level of discipline.
Totoo
and at the
yan.
same time, that vision of what you want to be in the future.
Totoo yan.
There's a big difference between having fun and devil may care,
Yes.
as opposed to having fun but knowing I got to get up in the morning and I got to study and I got to do my.
Yeah.
And you knew how to do both. No? But you were having fun when you were in school, but then
Yes.
alam nyo yung responsibility. You graduated on time anyway.
Yes.
I think we're very fortunate because even while we were in college, we were making money.
Yes,
modeling.
toward the latter part of
Tama rin
college.
yun. Tama rin naman
Kumikita
yun.
na tayo.
Tama naman yun.
And we already
Tama rin
had,
naman
nawala
yun.
na yung pressure na, oh my God. Because I remember, back
Ano yung trabaho ko?
back in
Walang
high
ganun.
school and then early months of college, when we'd get invited to the homes of our classmates, be like,
That's
how
true.
am I going to afford a place like this one day?
That's true.
I graduate from college, my entry, salary will be this, and then you're wondering
That's
how it's
true.
going to be possible. And then when Hans and I got into modeling, we're realizing, okay, so there's a way.
Pwede
pala.
naman pala.
There's a
Pwede
way.
naman.
It's possible.
But
pala.
you weren't compelled to, di ba? Parang kayo na yun, maparaan
Hilig
na
lang yun.
kahilig yan.
Oo.
Or the opportunity like really just presented itself sa inyo, di ba?
Right
That you
place,
seized
right
it.
time.
Yeah,
Yeah, di ba?
yeah.
Because it's a lot of hard work. I mean,
That's true.
there was a time na we have classes in college, we have a 5-hour break.
Yeah.
We'd go all the
Yeah.
way to Makati for a VTR.
Yeah.
And then, we'd come back for class.
Correct.
And then we'll find out 2 weeks later, hindi kami nakuha.
Bumabalik ka pa pala. Ako
Alam mo yun?
free
Okay.
cut na yun.
Pagkatapos ng tambayan, sino yung mga kaibigan most in the same circle, no? Or sino
Yeah.
pa yung, mention them because you might be watching, sino yung mga hanggang ngayon nakakasama nyo at nakakausap nyo pa rin?
Ako, yung college block ko pa din and then my high school friends that also went to Ateneo or went to other schools.
Okay.
After class, at least back in the 90s, yun pa din naman eh.
My high school
Meron.
classmates, definitely.
Good, very good.
We have a nice, connection with the different
Ganda.
classmates all over the world. We have a Viber group. I mean, technology is fantastic. It's a great tool. We're able to keep in touch and exchange messages and support each other. And then the ones I mentioned, sila Papo, sila
Yes.
Jojo. They're
Yes.
friends who you won't see each other. Kami ni Hans, we won't see each other for months on end.
Oo nga eh.
But then when we hang out, it's like, what the heck, man? It's like,
That's true. That's
nothing's
true.
changed. I
Wala.
mean, we
Almost 50? Di ba? Di ba? Kayo?
we're talking about age.
We're in the we're in the later part of our 40s, but I wouldn't say almost 50.
Almost.
I'm 45.
Masaya na yun.
Turning
Masaya.
46 this March.
Masaya.
Oh,
Now,
yun.
Yeah.
classes daw. Let's talk about classes first. Ano yung pinaka-paborito mong puntahang mga klase?
We're talking about high school or college?
Pareho.
Wow. I like classes that were challenging. My most challenging year was junior high school.
Junior high school? Why?
In
Nag-isip na.
the term is nagarahe. Nagarahe ako from Dulaang Sibol.
Okay,
because I had a
dahil...
failing grade in math.
Oh my God, may ganun din pala.
Yes.
Okay.
So, it eventually became my favorite because I had to work really hard to get that grade up.
Para bumalik ng
Para
Sibol
bumalik
din.
ako. Oo. So that I can be cast in the plays.
Anong
Kasi
ginawa mong Sibol play na maalala ka? Did you get into Kaharian ng Araw?
No, I got into...
Sinta, not even?
No.
Sinta showing
we
again.
We did this. I was the lead of Inahin at Lawin.
Oh, di ba may ganun siya?
Hanip.
Okay.
Where I played a Lawin.
Okay.
So you hardly see my face because I was wearing...
Pero ganun pa rin naman, parang ganun pa rin yung costume sa'yo. Okay.
The lines were yung mga mutyang dumalaga pagkanilag-lilag yung ganun. So medyo malalim-lalim.
Hanip.
But
favorite year is that? Oh, it's the most challenging year in high
most
school.
challenging year, definitely. Because
How
I
about
thought I was not going to make it out.
Pero nakaya.
Nakaya naman.
Dahil sa math.
Yes.
Okay. Mention the teacher. Sino ang teacher doon?
Hindi ko na maalala.
Nako, kinalimutan.
It was the subject I was focused on. Hindi talaga.
Okay.
Hindi talaga. I really worked hard for that grade.
Ano, nag-summer ka?
No.
Hindi. Okay. And then college, who were your memorable teachers?
College, for some reason, I really enjoyed physics. I enjoyed Fisher Psych. I enjoyed
Ibang klase to.
Weird ang mga...
Ibang klase to talaga?
I liked yung mga...
Yung hindi mo mababasa sa libro.
Yung babasahin mo sa libro at iintindihin mo, and then when you'd have an exam, you'd have to analyze and that sort of thing. Because again, I was in that mindset that if I didn't get good grades in college, I would have a hard time finding a job after.
Okay.
Little did I know,
It was really that.
I would be like...
Iba pala naman.
Yun na.
Memorable teachers were? In college?
Well, definitely, ang high school muna si Mr. Pagsi.
Of course.
Who was my mentor.
Who's 90 plus but still very active.
Still very
Ibang
active.
klase,
I mean, you gotta...
And remembers your name.
Yes.
Lucid. As in
and
lucid.
remembers certain incidents with you.
Correct.
You'll remember certain things, and then both fond and not fond memory.
Ayan na.
But you laugh about it.
That's true.
You laugh about it.
Mr. Paxi, who else?
Mr. Brazal, definitely.
Okay.
Si Meng de Guia.
Okay.
These are people who, even after, they would still, instill the life lessons here and there. It's very important that once they're your teacher, they'll always be your teacher and mentor.
That's true.
They'll always have that kind of relationship with you.
Hindi ko magawang tawagin si Ma'am Meng na Meng.
Dahil?
I still call her Ma'am.
Ma'am.
Pa rin. Ikaw high school. Go.
English Lit, Exi Abola, third year.
Still there. Hilda Kapal.
Yeah.
Yes.
Trigo, Greggy Orara, may he rest in peace.
Okay.
Diba? I remember those extremely well.
Okay.
Raymond Sanchez, first year.
Yes.
Father Waynes.
Why? Parang are these the people, the mga strict na mga teachers? Kasi sa dalawang schools of thought, no? Isang strict na na professor na maalala mo, or isang komportable ka and you're more open to learning?
No, I've discovered about myself then na parang whether you are strict or whether you are casual, the teacher for me makes the subject.
Okay.
Right? And how you teach it, if you make the subject matter come alive, that's more important to me. Kung strict ka, wala akong pake. As long as you're not boring.
Totoo yan.
Kung casual ka, pero wala namang katori-tori yung pagtuturo mo, it won't matter to me kasi wala akong mariretain.
Tama yun eh. Yung parang a teacher who's so empowering that even an average person can feel na he can be better.
Correct. Because, case in point, I was never a fan of history, but my highest grade in college was world history under Father Leonard.
Okay.
That guy was part of history.
That's
true. So memorable teacher ko si Father Leonard. Industrial organizational psychology in senior year. Actually, yan ang hindi ko na. Senior moment na yan. Because that one, I was BS Psych, and my intention was really to go into clinical psychology. Yes. But IO suddenly opened my eyes to the world of HR, which I ended up making a career in.
That's true.
Marivic Gustilo was also a standout teacher for me.
So, ano yung mga klase ng teacher yung na-drawn kayo? those are the ones who inspire you. Di ba mga teachers okay, magiging terror. Pero the ones who make you feel good about yourself and make you achieve something.
I enjoy the teachers who, I can't really mention any names right now off the top of my head, no, but I really enjoy the teachers who would keep you on your toes. Especially those who,
okay.
You know, once there's a class, once it begins, you know that at any point in time you could be called, and if you don't answer properly, you're screwed.
May ganon. May ganon. Okay.
Those are interesting. And then
so gusto mo yung natatakot ka rin?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because, that's the only way that you can actually have that certain sense of discipline coming to class.
That's true.
And then there's also those teachers who, you know, their personality during class is different outside.
Sa labas.
Oh.
And then you can enjoy conversations outside and whatnot. And when you go back to class, it's all, you know, all business again.
Pero may gano'n na wala ka na sa school pero kausap mo pa rin yung teacher.
Meron.
Na-consult mo pa rin yung teacher niya. Meron.
They join us in reunions.
Meron.
They make it a point to show up and you know.
Galing. Ikaw, Hans,
For me, it was, again, if it's a subject that, like history.
Yeah.
For me, hindi ko naman magagamit yan, but it's educational.
That's true.
But Father Leonard told history like a story
Yeah.
You know, nakatulong din that he was part of the Second World War. Diba?
Yeah.
But what I mean is, yun nga, so how do you make this come to life? That it's not just names and dates and events, right?
Right.
They were me.
And then for the subjects naman na alam kong posible kong gamitin sa future, what was important for me is, as a teacher, aside from teaching the subject matter, can you please expound kung paano ko magagamit sa buhay yan? Give me an example of a real life scenario where magagamit ko yan. So si industrial organizational, ayan.
Right.
I'm still dying to see yung kay Gustilo, talagang paano mo magagamit yan, di ba? So I guess as I've discovered myself in the last 4 decades, it's really, I'm a pragmatist. Hindi naman yung the end justifies the means all the time, but my point is, paano mo magagamit to?
That's true.
Right? Ano yung saysay nito sa buhay mo?
Yes.
And also, it's interesting to study the psychology behind the decisions that were made
That's to be far,
in history.
Yeah.
You know? Was it all just ego? Was it more fear? Was it more this and that? And when you understand that that's how they behaved, and the result was this,
human experience.
then you can probably relate it to your own, maybe in a shorter scope or smaller scope rather, but you can still relate.
So,
you know?
Okay.
Oh.
What food did you eat during college when you were here?
What did I not
eat? Pero what food did you remember? Chori burger in
Well, of course.
Bun on the Rock.
Manang.
Okay,
Manangs. No doubt about it.
That.
Yeah. Oh.
Manang Slempo.
Pampanggen, yeah.
Oo naman.
Oo, sa labas.
Sa labas.
Diba?
Oo.
Okay.
Pampanggen.
What else?
Sweet inspirations outside, of course. Yeah,
Ano yung
these are the
strip
classics.
Angelinos.
Angelinos, strip loin and ants. Di ba? Yung dating gano'n.
Kamirori.
Butter, kamirori. Oo, na may yung ice cream na nakabalot sa ano.
Yun.
That was one of the more fun activities during lunch break, wherein you go out, you
true.
walk in Katipunan, and then you hope and pray that you make it back on time.
Na meron kang
minamadali mo na yung
tinatry.
server, pinapollow up na yung order mo dahil may
Dimarks.
Dimarks.
Sa labas, oo.
Diba?
Yeah.
So, yung Tia Marias dyan.
Tia Marias.
na nakita ko yung transition from the dark kind of Tias to the more brighter.
More family-oriented.
Masyado
Tia
ng
Marias.
wholesome yung Tias.
Other memories of those kind. Like kunyari, the food in the restaurants. Oo nga, isa-isahin natin yan pag lunchtime, tapos babalik for the class.
Pink House.
Pink House.
Bilyaran.
Yeah,
Okay.
Pink House.
Riding the GoCo school bus.
Yeah.
And Love Bus.
Labas, yes. Nabutan ko.
Na wala na dito.
Na libre sa loob.
Diba? Libre sa loob ng Ateneo.
Paglabas mo
And
yun.
it was also so easy to commute back then.
Yes.
True.
So easy.
Or walk.
Correct.
Oo. Yung
Kasi-
field hanggang Gonzaga, nilakad yun.
Oh, hindi. But wala pa yung flyover when I started going
That's
to
true.
Ateneo. And yet, kaya mo mag-bus ka
Yeah.
until Aurora, mag-jeep ka hanggang
Yes.
Katipunan, tapos kung may sukli ka pa, mag-try ka papasok.
Yeah. Kung wala ka sukli, lakad.
Wala ka sukli, maglakad ka.
Yes.
Oo.
Traditions in school that you look forward to.
High school dance.
High school dance.
At yung pangalan ng high school dance.
Ay, kasi oo nga, correct.
Palagi naman may patawa dyan na...
Something blue.
Something blue, di ba?
Something or another blue.
Di ba?
Or yung Blue Marble Cheer Rally, mga ganon. Or UAAP. Of course.
Hindi, well, nung nasa college kasi ako,
Hindi
that
kayo
was the dark
nanalo.
ages.
Okay.
So no, I did not look forward.
When we were in high school, idol natin sobra yung mga nag-champion.
Sila Jun Reyes, yung 87, 88, 89. Diba? Idol natin yun.
Okay. Sina Nieto, di ba?
Yes. Jun Reyes, Alex Araneta, Nieto,
Richie.
Si Eric Reyes.
Eric Reyes.
Yes.
Diba?
Tapos doon, Days with the Lord. Were you there?
Yes.
Batch 68.
Batch 68.
Batch 54.
Actually, tulungan niyo ako kasi yun yung gusto ko. Gusto ko mag-rector ng media days. Yung mga tinatry mong yung i-seminar.
Yeah.
Feeling ko we lose them to like some other groups. But it's different now, no? Parang kung pwedeng buhayin yung days tradition na, meron pang ganun ka-personal.
Excuse me, bakit? Wala na bang
Wala na.
Sa Savior na lang. Wala natin.
Wait, so here...
wala.
Rite of passage mo yun.
This is like the first time I'm hearing. First time I'm hearing
it might be something like we can do. Na tipong, pwede magsama-sama. Last year, we were thinking of like having a day's anniversary. Just so to steer people again to. Pero, natin na.
Pwede.
So, yun. And we would want that kind in our media apostolate. Kasi, walang ganung action sa media. Talagang, sige, action na lang, wala nang reflection part. Kasi after that, may deadline ka ng bago.
Feeling ko, kailangan mo nga ng reboot with everything happening now.
Ang ganda nun, ha?
Diba? Take them back.
Yeah.
Other traditions in school traditions that you look forward to before the fair na inuulan palagi, di ba?
Kami yun, nasa college kami. Kala namin ni Totoy Bernardo may expel kami.
Doon ko siya nakita na talaga nagbubuhat ng mga benches dun sa Bellarmine Field.
Hindi, kasi
diba?
inulan yung Bellfield. Tapos nagkontrata tayo ng volcanic rock para tabunan yung Bellfield. Tapos parang nung tinabunan namin, lalo naging maputik na sisumpay ko pa ata yung... parang kami ni Totoy, pare, nice knowing you, magpasba na lang tayo kasi after this, tanggal na tayo for disciplinary reasons.
Those were happy times. Other Blue Rose, did you attend your Blue Rose? Your last part
syempre.
before graduation?
Syempre. Yeah.
Other things you remember about the college life? Bago tayo mag-advance.
The funny thing about college is that, on any other random day, we'd probably be able to come up with, various memories. But when you ask us directly and we're not prepared, it's really hard to come up with.
Totoo rin naman, pero masaya tayo.
Hindi rin, it's starting to flip back. Orsem,
it takes a while.
Orsem was
happy.
Kasi we were volunteering all the time.
Yes.
I mean,
kaya ako naging malapit dito kasi sila yung nag-volunteer sa mga programs.
Huwag ka masyado ma-impress. Yung mga freshman chicks yung inaabangan ko.
Okay na naman. Pero sino?
Under the guise of service.
But you had a girlfriend during not your batchmate, di ba? During your college life.
Early part of my college life, and then naging single. Ayun na, volunteer na.
Nag-Orsem ka, senior?
Hindi pa, before.
Hindi,
I mean, like, naging facilitator. Regcom.
At some point, yes. Basta, hindi naman pwedeng hindi pwede kasi the psych block guys were always involved.
Heavily involved in
Hindi
Regcom.
pwedeng hindi.
Ikaw, nag-Orsem ka the whole time.
Yes.
Nag-tour ng mga, di ba? Mga freshmen. That's something we look forward to.
This is the building and, wherever.
But you had a girlfriend the whole time?
No.
4 years? Wala?
No.
Ay, hindi pala.
Senior year lang nagka-girlfriend.
Ay, short-lived na. Pero parang ang tagal ng ligawan, Pao.
Matagal ang ligawan.
Mas matagal yung ligawan kaysa yung relasyon. That's what I recall.
Yes. You recall correctly.
Okay.
That's right.
Pero ang tagal mong maging senti nun, ha?
No.
Talaga,
Sibol. So.
Sige na nga.
Dala ko yung...
Other traditions. Okay. When were you happiest in school?
Wow.
Kailan kayo pinakamasaya? Yung sabihin mo, masaya ako talaga nun. Yung Tineo.
Alam mo, maraming mga babawng moments wherein yung saya mo sobrang taas yung level Again, going back, we'd have like rehearsals with the band, things like that.
A lot of the singing,
mga Sting, mga
mga new wave, mga ganyan.
Mga kapanahunan.
And play sa mga fairs ng ibang schools?
Hindi
naman. Dito lang.
School functions lang.
Dinadaanan talaga yung pagbabanda, di ba? Okay. So, pagbabanda, ikaw, saan ka pinakamasaya?
When I was on the volleyball court. I mean, when I was at practice with my teammates.
Yun. That's your
Pero
core competency.
tama si Pao There's there's so many that encapsulate a good day. I mean, sometimes after a really tough physics exam, pwede ko na aminin ngayon, pero andun ako sa likod ng Cosca Hall, yung mga sira-sirang mga sopa doon. Nakaupo lang ako doon, hindi nila alam, may lamang Red Horse yung Coleman ko. I'm just watching the sunset. You know, parang at the time kasi wala pang ganun kadaming building sa Katipunan, di ba? Or after intramural game na by the skin of our teeth, nanalo kami.
Yeah, and we celebrate.
Yung mga kotse namin nakaparada lang doon sa may yung parking dito sa taas ng covered courts.
Yes.
And then we're just there celebrating, and of course may alcohol na hindi alam ng eskwela.
And over the bakit kayo ng high school? Oo naman, sa La Vista.
Hindi.
No.
I never saw the lure.
No.
Hindi naman kasi ako nagmalayosi nung high school eh.
Galing.
So, ba't ako mag-go over the bakod? There's nothing there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next, saddest part of school.
Saddest part?
Kailan kayo malungkot ako nun.
Probably the few weeks leading up to graduation.
Talagang damdam niyo na.
Yeah, because you know, imagine
ang aga matatapos ng senior year, nga hindi ko na memorize ngayon, pero Feb, di ba? Tapos na kayo.
Yeah.
Maghintay na lang kayo ng March.
You wait a couple of weeks for graduation, and it was so weird because you know you spend 3.5 years or even more of your life, you know, I came from Merville, Parañaque. And then I drive.
Dorm ever?
No. I drive every single day, and then times I'd commute and all of that. Well, again, wala pa yung flyover.
Pwede pa nun.
Over, and you know, life was so different then. I wouldn't say better, but it was way different then.
You were Blue
Simpler.
Before? Where were you?
No.
That area?
No, more like the Green Meadows QC area.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oo nga, ang dali mag-commute.
Yeah.
Mag-travel.
And the means of communication, I mean, there were no cell phones yet. You know, I mean, cell phones started, 95, 96.
But people will try to look for you kung kailangan nila ikaw kausap.
Yeah, you had a beeper, you had a pager, di ba?
Ayok.
Yung mga bitin-bitin, yung mga
easy call, di ba? Pocket bell. You have all of that. And again, if you wanted to meet someone, you had to be there.
Yes.
If you weren't there, they'd call your home and wonder if you were, you know.
That's true. Hindi virtual.
And also, sorry, like when we celebrate a victory, it was with a camera that you had to develop the film after.
Yeah.
You know, none of these cell phones ruined the moment, you know, of the genuine celebration and joy.
In the moment.
Tama.
Yeah.
Ikaw naman.
Saddest part for me was having to go back to Ateneo High School right after we graduated and we were already in college, kasi may batchmate na kaming pumanaw. As in 92,
Agad.
who would have expected na may batchmate ka from high school?
Because of what?
Well, back then they called it H fever. I'm guessing that's dengue, right? It is now known as more popularly as dengue. Pero
kita mo solid yung batch, at least, no? Parang ganon.
Well, klase namin, right? But I couldn't get over it. Parang I never expected to be back in the high school chapel.
Yeah.
So soon after high school graduation for this reason.
Tsaka yung reality ng death ng ang aga-aga.
Ang aga-aga.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ito daw, things that would make you angry are the ones you hold dear kasi nakabase sa prinsipyo. Merong time kang sobrang galit ka nung college or in school. A moment na that triggered your anger.
Did it have to be about academics or?
Well, not really. Well, it can be some other. Well, in your student life.
Something that triggered my. I remember in high school.
Or policies or parang may mga ganun ba na?
Hindi, I remember in high school the worst of the coup d'etats against Cory Aquino.
That's true.
That was yung end of November, early December ata eh.
Somehow, no? That triggered your anger. So, may call to action.
Nag-trigger sa akin kasi parang paano naman tayo aahon coup d'etat tayo ng coup d'etat. And I remember I was starting
high school yan, no?
Yeah, I was already starting to understand na do you know how far back we set the country with every coup? Kasi we're trying to gain credibility and prove to the rest of the world that we're a stable country. Tapos, and that particular coup was bloody. I mean, yun talaga. Yun yung, di ba, may tora-tora.
Yes.
So that one really affected me. Na parang, pucha naman bilang Pilipino, bata pa lang ako, pero ano ba to?
And ang maganda dito, we are in one table, pero here's another person from the other side. So, yun. Pero magkakaibigan tayo. Okay, go. Pao, ikaw naman. What triggered your anger during that time?
Well, I would say I always had this, because I was so focused on being a diligent student. I really disliked classmates who would cheat.
Oh, may ganun siya. Okay.
Yeah, but
may nahuli ka.
Hindi lang nahuli. I mean, you see it happening blatantly in front of you.
It's kopya sa'yo.
It's called assisted learning.
Yeah.
Hindi ka nagpapahiram ng notes?
Huh?
Hindi ka nagpapahiram ng notes?
Homework, yes, no problem.
Pero
yung exam, hindi.
Oh.
And I know that it also made me sort of unpopular in some areas of the classroom.
Okay.
But even in college, I remember this incident. Siguro pwede ko na ikwento ngayon, di ba? In college kasi, there was this professor.
Okay.
Let's not even mention the class.
Okay.
Kasi malalaman kung anong subject. He would give an exam every single Wednesday.
Okay.
Multiple choice, 10 questions.
Okay.
He would give the same exam, questions, and sequence from 8 a.m. all the way until the...
Oh my God, so...
yes!
Tapos?
Okay. Tapos,
nagkakaalaman yung mga...
nagkakaalaman na yung mga first few hours, yung score nilang average yung mga 6 out of 10.
Okay.
Pagdating mo ng after lunch, ayan, tumataas na 8, 9.
So, binibigay niya yung tamang sagot?
Binibigay ng mga earlier classes dun sa mga sa taas.
Okay.
And I was in the middle, and I felt it was such
competitive tong lolo natin.
It was such an injustice talaga. Sabi ko, sabi ko, I remember, tumatakbo sa utak ko, parang, oh my gosh, are these the people I'm going to be dealing with when I graduate from college?
Agad.
Welcome to the real world, pa.
Sobrang, oddly enough, I would call that a very immature way of viewing life.
Kaya ang ganda pa rin. May insight.
Because back then, it was really all about the grades for me. And if I was going to get a good job, it had to be from good grades.
So may big picture ka na talaga nun.
Oo.
Yan alam mo yung insight ko dyan, Pao. I remember that class, right?
You do. Let's not mention the course.
Yeah, but then, you see...
Sabihin nyo na anong course.
Wag na.
It was a history class. Diba? And my benchmark for history, again, was Father Leonard.
Yeah.
And then I take this guy's history class. And I realized, walang kwenta yung guro. So, idaya ko na lang yung exam.
Hence, let's not mention...
Idaya ko na lang yung exam. But for Father Leonard, boy, did I study.
Okay.
I would never dream of... And I had opportunities where people would be like, oh, he asks these questions. Don't tell me.
Kasi pag-iisip ka, di ba?
Leonard deserved my integrity.
That's true.
Right?
Ang galing.
I'm sorry it sounds harsh, but pragmatically, you don't take any effort to teach the course. Why should I take any effort to study for it? If somebody gives me the answer key, you're damn right I'll use it. Wow. Pero kay Leonard, you deserve the best of me. Okay. And I will study for your exam.
At kung mag-fail man ako, okay lang yan. But it's
exactly. Right?
At least you fail knowing that you tried really damn hard to pass. Not even to excel, but to pass. So there were some teachers who inspired you that way. That even in failing, there was a certain...
Naku, nangyari yan sa akin. Hindi ko mas naging kaibigan ko. Sabi niya, yung tatay kinausap ko, sabi niya, if you're able to teach that person more by flunking him, go. Tito Joe Marichan. Sabi niya gano'n. So, okay lang. After that, naging kaibigan ko yung anak niya. Kasi, yun nga, nag-flunk, pero okay. Yun, nangyayari yun. Next, kailan kayo pinaka-natakot? May parang yung fearful about certain outcomes in college. Or muntik mag-fail, tapos natakot kayo na, ito yung mangyayari.
Second year high school, kung si Pao, sabi niya third year yung tough year niya. Second year high school was my tough year. I thought I was going to flunk. And the history with me is, I failed first year. So dapat batch 91 ako.
Okay.
I failed first year, I repeated, and that second first year, naging kabatch ko na sila Pao.
Yeah.
Right? So sige na, sabihin.
Okay, sorry.
By a few months.
Okay.
So, yung repeated first year ko, I wasn't too worried kasi the subject matter was the same.
Okay, yes.
As a matter of fact, yung repeated year ko, doon pa ako pumalo ng honors.
Okay.
Not because I was diligent, but actually I remembered the answers.
Okay.
Pero second year, parang blank slate ka na ulit.
Okay.
namiligro ako ng second year, I really thought I wasn't gonna make it to third year.
And after that, maayos na.
Pumasa ako ng second year by the skin of my teeth, tapos nag-summer enrichment program pa. You remember SEP? Diba? Nag-SEP ako. And then, and then junior and senior year, parang never na ako namiligro.
Okay.
But I really was worried kasi they scared us in high school.
Kasi lesson learned.
They tell you that Ateneo College looks at all your 4 years of performance, right? So I said, di patay na ako, wala na ako. Second year ko, palpak eh.
Yeah.
Right? So I was a little worried that I wasn't gonna get into
Ateneo. Kaya mo hurdle na yan. Ikaw, Pao, kailan ka pinakpanatakot?
I think it was a day or 2 days after college graduation. Because you have no idea what's going to happen.
Saan ka pupunta?
No way.
And suddenly, di ba yung schedule mo walang laman?
Oo.
Di ba? Nakaka-off yun eh.
And you're wondering, how long
But even if you were working already, you're earning money?
There's nothing regular about that.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, that's very unpredictable. It also depends on, for example, if it's modeling, depends on the clients and what their inclinations would be at that time. So there was no guarantee that we'd be, set for even a few months. And it was really scary because, I mean, us we're guys, and at that time we didn't want to live with our parents anymore. The thinking was, gusto mo bumukod na.
Pero ang kaibahan ng Ateneo, yung placement office will also give you options, or you never want.
Never.
Yung nothing.
No.
Yung field na gusto mo talaga nagpasok. So it was hard.
Well, it was.
Next, competitive. When did you feel most competitive? Ikaw yan, very competitive ang lolo mo. Yun. Saang part ng school life mo naramdaman na ang bata pa lang, nga, I want to be better?
I think even if you look at grade school, I mean, the way it's set up, wherein you have a top 1, 2, 3, I mean, it really sets you up for that kind of
Na-imbibe
mindset.
mo yan? Naramdaman mo yan? Yung pressure?
Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely.
Okay.
And even my mom, I remember my mom was, back then, she was a bit of a chain smoker, and I really didn't like it. And then she'd go, pasok ka sa top 5, I'll stop smoking.
Oh my God, so ganun yung
Ganun yung motivation. So go, and at least I had the metrics to determine if I did, reach that level that she wanted. And it was so, I know it was so different because, you're beside classmates, and then, it's like you're in the trenches together, but at the end of the day, who has more medals? Who has more?
Saya.
And it was so different because when you enter high school naman, the mindset is a bit of the opposite because
mas achievement-oriented yung grade school.
Grade school is more achievement-oriented. In high school, it's more of like, andyan na yung mga hormones So it's more of like, what can we do to enjoy this day even more? And then, if you look at the grades, it's more of, okay, what's
affect sa grade yung hormones?
What's the barest minimum so that I can get by and I can pass this year?
And be happy pa rin.
And then you'll see it in your classmates that there's a certain percentage and they're just focused on grades, and then there's they're just focused on making sure that they pass the year.
Ikaw?
I was in between.
Okay.
I was in between.
So balance pa rin.
Because I had CBOL.
Yun na yun. Pero hindi ba required din naman kayo to have your hormones checked and CBOL? Di ba? Parang...
well, yeah.
Meron bang ganun?
Sinatanong kung nagre-release sila or
we had to make sure na... Well, not one overtly asked, but it was basically...
My God, I had to say it.
No, it was a very subtle way of, saying that, as much as possible, you try to stay pure in your intentions. Especially we were young, we were going to soirees, we were going to all of these, get-togethers and whatnot, meeting the opposite sex. And, dala namin yung CBOL.
That's true.
Since dala namin ang CBOL, we had to make sure that when we represented CBOL, every time we go to these events, that we were...
Parang nagre-retreat palagi. Parang naka-retreat. Ikaw naman.
I had no such moral obligations.
And so?
Well, again, my outlet, at least throughout my Ateneo life was athletics.
Yes.
So I guess, you know,
So dun yung hormones.
yeah, yun yung release ko.
That's testosterone right there.
And then yung coach namin, coach din ng Merinol team. So I had I had enough stimuli, right?
Yeah.
To the point that when I got to class, I didn't feel like I needed to compete with.
Right.
I didn't care. I was happy for the people that were getting high grades. I just made sure that, I think the message to me kasi with my parents were, don't be happy with pasang-awa.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right? So wag ka naman dun sa bare minimum.
Pero hindi naman.
But I mean, my father and my mother never looked at me and they said, "Oh, dapat 4 kid ka."
Hindi naman.
Right? Kasi they understood. And they said, you know, I'm also equally happy that you've found your calling in a sport, right? So kasi sabi ng mom ko, you know, in the corporate world, it's the well-rounded ones that are. So dinamdam ko yun na parang, di well-rounded, we play hard and we study hard.
Well-rounded at saka madaling mag-cope dun sa losses and wins.
Tapos parang ganon, on one hand, your parents are telling you, you know, study well, do good grades. But on the other hand, you hear them talking among themselves with their mga college barkada. And then all of them, you hear them saying, alam mo, college was the best time. We didn't realize how ignorant we were. We wanted to finish college. We wanted to join the workforce. And you know, you'll never get that environment again. Now, thankfully, I heard that while I was still in college. So sabi ko, why don't we live it? So yes, I absolutely made sure there was balance.
Last one. When did you feel most loved when you were in school? Kailan yung parang, ay, ang saya ko dahil feeling ko appreciated, valued. Kasi yung babalik-balikan mo. Kasi when you were in media already, parang people will just give you the things you want to hear sometimes. Maganda sa professional field, di ba? Parang, pero nung ito walang interest yung mga tao to just like give you that affirmation or that support. Kailan nyo naramdaman yun?
For me, there was both collective love that you would feel from your barkada, and then there'll be also that individual love you'd feel from the various people in that group, no? And the kind of support group that you really need in college is not the kind na they're just a shoulder to lean on and an ear.
Malalim,
it has to be a lot deeper than that.
At saka kahit anong napagdaanan natin after college, nandyan pa rin sila.
Yes.
Ibang ganon, ibang klase.
Ako yung psych block ko, I consider myself fortunate. Kasi we all studied it. Most of them went on.
Lived it.
Yeah, and most of them went on to med school. Right? But
pero grabe,
if you're
yung mga tao dyan sa med school, di ba?
I think for me, I felt quote-unquote loved is when I was with the college block, when we were doing something, anything collectively, whether we were volunteering in Regscom or we would plan one of our block outings or something, or we'd get together in somebody's house or we'd go out of town as a block. That to me was where I felt really, really part of a bigger whole. Na I'm home.
Ang ganda, di ba?
It was my block talaga, my psych block. Kasi sa eskwela, parang affirmation, value, putya, pakialam ko sa'yo.
And you don't know that, ang dami na nating pinagdaanan after college, pagbalik mo dito pa rin, yun pa din. Parang walang judgment, walang kahit na ano.
Wala.
Nandun, pantay-pantay pa rin. And when you have reunions, ang nila, welfare mo. Yun, parang yung well-being mo, yung nila, hindi. Yun, then you feel that.
It's not a pissing contest, kumbaga.
That's true.
And that's something that makes you look forward to the reunions. When it's not that, when it's really looking out for welfare. How are you? Are you okay?
Buti pala kayo ganyan. Kasi some people resist mga attending reunions.
Hindi, di ba? Growing up, when you'd watch movies about Western high school reunions and the dread of going back because either the college jock or the high school jock or the high school bully will still pick on you. The girls that used to pick on you will still pick on you. I find that never happened in any of my reunions between Xavier, Ateneo High School, even college. We looked forward to seeing each other again.
Okay, game. Marami na tayo ng pagdaanan after college and we'll talk about that and the support you got from your batchmates after just one song na lang from the last CD na na-release dito. Probably the tanging yaman song na pwede natin i-play. Okay, balik Ateneo. And then we talk about our professional lives and what happened to that in a while.
Game.
Okay.
The Voice of the Blue Eagle. Radyo Katipunan, 87.9.
Aking tanging yaman na di lubusang masumpungan ang nilikha
The Voice of the Blue Eagle. Radyo Katipunan, 87.9.
So, okay. That's the latest CD now dito sa Jestrom. It's Arman's Sometime Somewhere album na nandito sa Tanging Yaman store. Nandito sa ilalim na ng Jesuit communication. So, now we go to their life after graduation. Ayan, mas juicy kasi sabi ni Hans, napaka-safe nung nangyari. So, you both went to media. Tapos nun, kakaiba yung path. Because si Hans went first, no? To do
easy dancing.
Okay. Why that?
96.
Okay, why that?
I got approached at the time. I don't even remember who presented it to me.
Okay.
One of the, I'm not sure if it was June Rufino of channel ABC 5. Yeah, parang I just got asked, would you be open to hosting a dancing show?
Okay.
And my first impulse was no.
Hindi ako marunong
of
sumayaw,
course
di ba?
not.
Okay, yes.
And then sabi niya, co-host mo si Dayanara Torres and si Charlene
So
Gonzalez.
inisip mo na, baka
Why not? Sige. Diba? Huwag naman tayo sarado sa mga bagong karanasan. So, ayun, game.
So yun. But it was more hosting.
It was really hosting.
And it was something.
But no, they were having fun with me after a while. I mean, like, ang directors namin noon, si Al Quinn, si Lito Calzado, bless his soul.
Yes.
And after a while, they were laughing at me and they're like, we're gonna, alam mo, gagawan ka namin ng eksena na sasayaw ka din. You have to.
And you did. Oo naman. So,
pagkatapos ng 5 oras ng rehearsal sa Julie Borromeo dance studio.
Si Ryan agad sila ginawa rin niya. Sabi niya, hindi ako sasayaw. Nung finally sumayaw siya sa show ni Charlene Gonzalez din. Sa Keep on Dancing naman. Nung nasa channel 2. After that, na-aksidente siya sa motor. Sabi niya, ay may dahilan ako para hindi na sumayaw. Turo mo yan, Paolo. Paolo was a mentor to a lot of other new hosts. At yun naman, ganun yung ginagawa niya ngayon. Na parang hanggang ngayon naman, parang nagtuturo pa rin siya. But Paolo, you started as a pen shop model, remember?
94.
Yes.
I was part of Club Pen 94 with Ryan Agoncillo.
Yes.
And then after that, tried to dabble in modeling pa rin. So during college, nag-pen shop na ako. And then 96.
But it was really hosting that you really wanted.
Yes. 1996, that's when I auditioned and got into Game Plan.
Yeah.
Together with another Ateneo, Susie.
Susie.
Entrata.
Yes. And Game Plan was under the Pro Productions.
That's right. So with Cheche Lazaro as your mentor.
Magandang mentors during that time. Sina Cheche Lazaro, sina Lucci. And they're the ones. So parang ang gandang break into the business. And then, ikaw, Easy Dancing.
Easy dancing until I left to go to Australia and then the States to take my master's.
Okay, can you go there?
Yes, you can go there.
Okay, game. So si Hans had to go there not because he wanted to. He had to go to Australia because he had to face an issue. And I was there.
I didn't go to Australia to face an issue. To leave an issue.
That was the video, no? Na sumambulat dun sa ano. So, how did that happen, Hans?
Ay may kaawa. Yung manager ko na minolesta ko nung 13 anyos na video-tape pala niya.
Yes.
Eventually, may nakaaway siya na isa pang tao na ninakaw yung tapes niya kasi alam nung taong yun na meron siyang mga tapes na questionable.
Okay.
And the intent really of that other person was just to expose my manager. It's just that at the time, of all the faces on those videos,
ikaw,
I was in the height of my Easy Dancing hosting.
That's true.
You're the most recognizable.
Yes.
Correct. Right? So, I became a casualty of war, so to speak.
At may Senate hearing, di ba?
Collateral damage.
Collateral damage.
May nakisaw-saw pang senador doon na, my mom at the time saw right through it.
Yes.
Hanggang ngayon naman, pag nakisaw-saw ang senador, alam mo naman.
Iba na.
You don't know kung may pakialam talaga sa tao or sa issue lang.
And then the learning was, this whole issue forgot that they were dealing with
a minor.
You were like, how old?
So I became the one in the spotlight when I was the one that was actually molested.
Yes.
Diba? So parang, of course now, in this day and age, we're a lot more protective of the victim.
That's true.
So, chalk it up to...
Nung nangyari yun, Hans, how did you make sense out of like what happened?
I didn't.
Okay. Hindi mo rin ma-process.
No, it happened too fast.
So you had to leave.
I was 22. My mom did what she thought was best, which was hindi ko papayagan na gawing pawn.
That's true.
Yung anak ko ng mga senador na gusto magpabango.
That's true.
Diba? So I'm not gonna. So she got me out.
Okay.
She got me out of the country na parang leave it na. And
that was a good decision. Although, you were telling me at a certain point, parang, Mom, bakit mo ko paalisin? Baka admission of guilt.
Yes. And everybody else within the showbiz industry said the same thing.
Yeah.
Na pag umalis ka, lumalabas guilty ka. Right? But
because you're open to like facing all those during that time?
My natural inclination was, teka muna, ako yung inabuso eh.
Okay.
So bakit ako yung tumatakbo?
Okay.
Right? But you have to understand, I don't come from a showbiz family.
That's true.
So the way we handled it is not the way showbiz people or showbiz families will handle it. showbiz families will say humarap ka.
That's
right?
true.
Even the saying na
kasi pag-uusapan,
might as well
yung simpatsya mapunta sa'yo, ganon.
As far as my mom was concerned, we don't play that game.
That's true.
You know, I don't care what you think in the showbiz world.
So High Road,
that's my son.
Save yourself.
Hindi ko siya papayagang gamitin.
That's
right?
true.
So I'm getting him out of the country, and as a mom, she is entitled to that decision.
But you never had a chance to tell the people how it happened. You never knew that the video was on.
No, I didn't.
Hindi talaga.
Hindi talaga.
Okay.
So na medyo nabigla ako. I think Corina called me on one of her shows.
Then I said, stop.
Diba? And then something, whatever. The only time I really had a chance to explain it again was when I came home from the States, and I went to my trusted friend Paolo Bidiones, who had, what was your afternoon show?
Extra.
And that's where I was comfortable.
Yes.
And,
naman.
And 5 years later or 6 years later, I was comfortable talking about it because that's what I would have wanted to do when it first came out.
With the late Bayani San Diego. Because I read that Inquirer article also before you guessed it in my show.
Bayani was like 2 years ago. But when I came back in 2001, the first thing I wanted to do was to set the record straight.
Okay.
Kasi I left under a cloud.
That's true.
Right?
That's true.
And I had to find somebody I could trust.
Yes.
And Paolo, kababata.
Napatawad mo na yung mga taong gumawa sa'yo nun?
Patawad, yes. Kalimot, never.
Okay. Okay. So you have to tell the people that umalis ka not because you wanted to. Your parents.
It was the right or wrong. It was the decision of the family at the time. I look back on it. It's easy to say could have, would have, should have. But
and the loneliest Christmas you said nung nasa Australia.
Kasi it happened mga October.
Yeah, that's true.
But you look back on it and you look back at where my life is gone. I won't be where I am today if that hadn't happened.
That's true. That's true.
And so the saying goes, a lot of your growth is through experience, some of it through pain.
That's true.
A lot of it through pain.
A lot of it through pain.
Pao, insights on what happened to your friend, to our friend here.
Well, when I was playing two roles, a spectator and then a friend.
Yes.
As a spectator to this, circus that was going on, I really felt bad for what was going on. And I said to myself, it was so unfair.
That's true.
That he was the one who had to leave.
Yeah.
And I remember talking to some of our fellow models at that time, and we were discussing how, it cannot happen this way because his star was rising.
That's true.
And all of us, we were like, I remember I was talking to him, we were so excited for him. We're like, imagine mo, dati kasama lang natin sa mga VTR yan. Ngayon, he's on TV. And
we know he can contribute a lot, lalo na sa talk part, opinionado tong tao.
It was something that we felt really bad about. And then, I was so glad that when the time came, he said, you know what, I want to talk about it and I want to clear some things out. And at the same time, I want to get back. And then, I told him, bro, you leaving and you coming back is probably the best thing to happen because you're able to give people time to rest.
That's true.
From the issue. And then when he came back, I remember
he made something of himself.
Yes, and I remember that time. It was a while since I felt so excited about both a friend coming back and then a friend wanting to be in the industry again.
Yes.
Because yung industry natin,
hindi siya madami.
Yung industry natin maliit eh.
That's true.
And it's nice to have someone who he's got your back.
That's true.
And that's how we are. Kaming dalawa. We have each other's back all the time.
That's true.
And I wanted to have someone, with me also. So there was a sort of a vested interest on my part that I wanted my brother with me.
That's true.
But at the same time, if I was gonna be...
Hindi niya alam, meron pa rin pala siya mangyayari sa kanya. So it had to be... But it wasn't... Well, hindi naman yun yung dahilan.
Nauna lang ako.
He paved the way, basically.
No, but anyway, but yun nga. But your best weapon, as I was telling you, best weapon is also good work. And what you did was, yun nga, parang you decided to go to the US and finish your master's in psychology.
Psychology, in HR.
Santa Clara University, San Francisco, na Jesuita nga. And then after that, came back.
Yeah.
Okay. Nag-HR ka dito.
Well, I went back into Unang hirit. And I went back into the industry.
Okay.
It was only siguro 01 ako bumalik. Nung 04,
corporate.
parang
You went
I was
corporate.
starting to decide whether I was going to go full blast in entertainment or even news or even hosting, or if I was going to go back to corporate. At the time, binili ni Tony Boy Cuangco ang
Channel
ABC5.
5.
Medyo nagrigo doon siya ng mga officers doon, and there was an HR opening.
Right.
And you like that?
Nagpresenta ako, and thankfully I was given the
naman.
opportunity, and it was the best middle ground kasi
That's true.
HR ka nga, pero HR na TV network.
That's true.
So malapit pa rin
Nandun
ako sa
pa rin.
studio kasi I still did presidential election coverage,
Right.
That's
PBA.
That's true.
Yeah.
'Di ba?
Yeah.
Yung HR office is right next to the News and Public Affairs office in the Novaliches station.
Okay.
Actually. So ayun, I did several
It was
years
still
in
media apostolate.
Yes, it was
Yeah.
still media and HR until eventually I went into the BPO world na by
Okay. Na ngayon,
2006.
Okay. Pao, the transition was different. Yung maganda nga, parang nag-hosting seminars, nadanasan niya lahat ng formats, di ba?
Yes.
So, kailan ka pinaka-comfortable? Yung peak mo, I guess, when you were doing Extra Challenge.
Extra
diba?
Challenge,
Yun
definitely.
talaga.
That was the peak. My break was the Binibini Pilipinas.
Yeah.
Which was in 1998.
Yes.
And then Extra happened that, and then I did Showbiz with S-Files.
Yes.
And then Extra Challenge from 2003 to 2006.
And then Survivor.
And then Survivor after
Yeah, that's
that.
it. Yun parang, those were the days when parang lahat ng formats na gawa ni Pao, and then in the end, parang, uy, tumatanda ako.
We were having this conversation.
Reality yun, di ba? Reality na, tipong, we have to like channel it into something more lasting. And the transition to news
Yes.
was that, what's that turning point?
In 2010.
Yes, yes.
So,
how was that, Pao?
after 2 seasons of Survivor, the conversation
Kasi
was more
hindi na
of...
ka rin kung katawan mo rin lang, di mo na kailangan, di mo na kayang tumakbo or maging agile ka tulad
Or you'll have to
noon.
train harder to be able to continue doing
That's true,
what you
that's
do.
true.
No? So you have to work twice as hard in the gym to be able to, survive the 45 days on the island.
Si Paolo pa.
So it was both a transition of
Nakakapagod
necessity
din, di ba?
and at the same time also it
Maturity.
was a maturity and exploration
That's
of what else can I do.
Yes.
And I remember having this conversation with you. We were discussing, okay, do we pursue TV5?
Yeah.
Which at that time, Manny Pangilinan was coming in. He's
Atenista
coming in
din.
really strong, and
Yeah.
he wanted to get a bunch of new talents, and it was such a career change for me that I couldn't help but say, okay, let's leave our comfort zone and
Yeah.
then let's jump into this new adventure.
And news was something fascinating, lalo na for people who are maturing.
Yes.
So-
You learn a lot of things. You learn especially the word integrity.
That's true.
It's probably-
You like that too, no? To be in the news. To be like doing the news.
Doing the news, not being part of the news.
Doing the news. Like, Pao,
Yeah.
how was your news experience?
The news experience was in the beginning very tough because you had to try to prove yourself in the environment amongst your peers.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, ba't nandito yan? Sino ba yan?
Yeah.
Bakit, di ba taga-showbiz yan?
Yeah.
Bakit siya nagre-report dyan?
Yeah.
I
But-
faced the same.
Oh, but
Yeah,
then you
of
have to,
course.
you really have to roll with the punches, and at the same time, you just keep on pressing forward.
That's true.
And showing them that I deserve to be here in the field with the rest of you guys.
Yes.
And in fact, I can also do what you guys do.
That's true.
Maybe not better yet, but I'll get there.
Yeah. And you're very hardworking. Ibang klase naman to kasi.
Yung competitiveness ko sa high school and college, nadala ko.
Nagamit mo doon.
But ang difference ko is my competitiveness was never aggressive to the point that I'd step on other people's toes to
Hindi
get to
naman.
where I wanted to go.
That's true.
And I think that's why my trajectory was smooth. Kasi
Yes.
you're not making enemies.
Yes.
You have doubters and then you make believers out of them.
Yeah.
And best weapon is a good works. Di ba? Yun
Yes.
naman talaga yung pinaka...
It's a little slower lang because
Yes.
Yes.
you get by on
Yes.
merit, di ba? But
Yes.
tama ka. You sleep at night knowing wala kang niloko, wala kang ginago.
That's true.
You didn't backstab anyone.
Right.
That's true.
So,
Tsaka hindi, walang envelopmental. Yun naman masasabi natin, parang hindi to corrupt. Yung dalawang to went into media na walang magsasabing, kinuhanan kami ng pera or niloko kami nitong taong to. At least that. Until your issue came, Pao.
Yes.
You made sense. Well, after that, ano yung reflection mo dyan?
Well, at that age, you're experiencing a lot of things in
That's
life.
true.
No? You're at the top of the hill and all of this, and you get reckless. You get very reckless, no? And when that incident happened, it actually happened 2010.
Oo nga.
Ang start,
yun
Ang start nun was 2010. I was doing radio at that time, and then I got snail mail. And in the snail mail, I had video caps of the clip.
Yes.
With the following message from the extortionist.
Yes.
Who basically said, your videos are with me. Call me. I'm easy to talk to.
Was that because of the computer that you had
Yes,
fixed?
I had the computer fixed. My laptop, pinaayos ko yung battery, which is external.
My God, Green Hills.
And then when I got it back, the company I brought it into said we outsourced it to Green Hills.
Oh my God.
So when I got it back, I saw that, okay, my password's disabled. What's up with that? But I didn't want to think anything. I didn't want to be paranoid. 3 months later, lo and behold, I got the letter.
Yun na nga.
Yeah.
Ikaw, reaction mo nung unang lumabas yung mga videos?
Naka-on pala yung camera.
Hindi na yung case mo yan, Kay Paolo na. Okay.
Hey, be specific.
Okay.
No, yung reaction ko with what happened with Pao is, holy crap. How do I get in touch with this guy?
Oh, yeah.
Been there, been that, right? How do I... Most important thing right now is he's gonna feel like there's no hole deep enough to hide in.
Yeah.
He has to know that he's not alone.
Well, yeah.
That was my first reaction. Like, how do I reach out to this guy and let him know?
And you did. You messaged
Yeah.
me.
No matter what happens,
Yeah.
right? I said, easier said than done because you're in the thick of it. But believe
That's
me,
true.
this too shall
That's
pass.
true.
Yeah.
And you either let this be your defining moment or you will let it define you. Those are two different things.
Ganda ng point. At a certain point, Pao, you even went to NBI to make it a crusade.
NBI to the PNP.
What happened?
I really don't know. That's all I can say.
Talaga?
There was media, there was everything else, but I guess
Walang magagawa. Parang hindi pwede.
I think the words that they used was that it was too widespread to control.
Oh.
It was too widespread. There were like 5 million views already at a certain point, and they said, each time we take one down, there's going to be another one that's going to put it up, and it's going to be there forever.
Okay.
And it happened during a time that Facebook had no capability to remove videos that were objectionable.
Yeah.
So I became a meme. I became, all of those things that you wouldn't wish on your worst enemy. But going back to what Hans said, he reached out to me.
Yes.
And a lot of friends reached out to me. I may have not replied to everyone, but I remember his message, and having that message come from Hans gave me a certain comfort.
Yeah.
Now here's a guy who also went through it.
That's true.
And wherever he is, whatever he's doing, and I know he's okay. I know that I'll be okay eventually.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of time. And one of the hardest things really about the incident was you get to read, in this day and age of mema sabi lang, you read all these comments and you'd come up with about siguro 1% negative, 99% positive.
That's true.
But you focus on the negative for some reason.
That's true.
When you're in that moment, you're just thinking about, you're reading the negative comments and you're scrolling to the positive ones, and then you go to the negative and you try to, you magnify it for some reason.
That's true.
I guess that's human nature. And then you feel sorry for yourself. But really what got me out of that hole, friends, family, and also knowing that, life will go on.
That's true.
Life will go on. It's really up to you to decide. I mean, you hurt people, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And I've apologized profusely to the people I've hurt, to the people I've wronged. At the end of the day, it was my fault. Kapabayaan ko yon. I was irresponsible. I was negligent. I was reckless. But again, like what Hans said, it's whether or not you decide to continue living, or are you going to make this the defining moment that makes you stop living?
Yeah.
And then you just, raise your hands up and say, I surrender.
Okay. That is a good point.
But the best surrender really is just, you just surrender to God. You say, Lord, I screwed up.
Bahala.
I screwed up. There's no one else who can fix this but you.
Then the shift there, Pao. Sabi mo, okay, leave na muna sa news.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Leave sa news. I continued doing the morning show.
Yes.
And then sometime in 2016, I decided, you know what?
Sila tumigil. Ako naman.
Sometime, because remember, 2010 I got the first letter, and then for 4 years there was constant sending of letter.
You ever knew where it came from?
Never.
Talaga?
Never. There's no return address or anything, right? And then 2014, July 27, it exploded. Right? So, 2015, naglaylo ako, and then 2016, I did the morning show, and then I decided to pursue further studies na.
Good yun eh. Well, I think yun nga parang the best weapon is a good work again, no? And then
Tsaka reboot.
Yes.
I mean, look, it's a bend in the road, it's a detour, it's an obstacle. Now, yun nga, where does your road end?
And it happened
or do you
at
go
that time.
around it?
That's true. Yung nangyari sa'yo, parang wala namang taong involved. No, parang walang ibang you didn't have a relationship when it happened and when you were battling through this.
No,
Kaya,
I had a girlfriend. I had a girlfriend at the time. Si Cara, who eventually became my wife, who, you know, we have a kid together. So yeah, she was...
nga because the kids with you
Yeah, she was also affected by that.
Kasi nasa States, doon sa States kayo, parang at least merong ganong relationship like to feel like family.
Yeah, I mean, I was alone in Australia because I first went to Australia before going to the States.
That's true.
So Australia, mag-isa ako, dinalaw niya ako for a week.
Okay.
And then we found our way back. Kumaga nag-reunite kami sa US na.
Yeah. Pao, ikaw, were you in a relationship during that time? Buti na lang wala.
No.
Buti na lang. Okay.
It would have been really hard if I was.
Yes.
Because it would have been really, really unfair for that person if I was with someone.
That's true. Buti na lang. Kasi yun, parang, I think it's easier like to deal with yourself during that time na mag-isa. So, wala nang Jinri nun?
Wala.
So, kasi
wala.
gusto ka sa morning show dun kay Jinri.
Wala.
So, wala. Okay.
I was single at that time. Yes.
Buti naman. And then, learnings na now. Ikaw,
yes.
What did you learn from the whole thing, and now, parang how do you bounce back from that kind of like a debacle, I guess, or an issue?
Well, the first thing you have to do is admit in some form or fashion yung culpability mo.
That's true.
I mean, I was 13. This guy posed as a talent manager. He was actually a talent manager.
Yes. Sabi mo naging counselor pa nga eh.
Naging konsehal pa sa hometown niya later on. But my point is, like, I look back on it, and yes, on one hand, tama si Pao, di ba? Parang, teka muna, ikaw yung nabiktima eh.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But if you step back from the public, yung thought process ko, yes, I was molested, I was 13, but there's still a part of me na parang, you know, it never occurred to me to run to my parents right after it happened. And why didn't I? And I wasn't blaming them. Parang, oo nga, no? Bakit? Diba? And it certainly wasn't because I enjoyed it. I was petrified.
Yeah.
And then, you know, nung lumabas, bakit mo dininay? Bakit hindi mo agad inamin? Diba? Eh, syempre, hindsight is always 2020. Parang iniisip ko nun,
hindi lang lumaki.
Nagulat ako. I was ashamed na lumabas. Paulo's words are exact. Parang I felt my life, my career, they seem to be going in a positive direction, and then bang.
Yes.
And really out of left field.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yes.
I was 13 when it happened.
Yes.
And then pumutok when I was 22. I mean, 9 years later,
Yes.
diba? So, in a way, you know, the way to start moving on is number one, accept na, you know, right or wrong, you might have done something to contribute to that, and then accept that it happened. What's done is done. And then you kind of take a step back and you think about what you can control. No, what can you control moving forward?
Yes.
To Pau's point, you're not going to control the proliferation.
That's true.
You're not going to control the reaction. You're not going to control how long and how far people are going to talk about it.
But yourself.
But you can control what you're going to do next.
That's true.
And in my case, I went to Australia, got my affairs in order, got my paperwork, took the GRE, started looking at schools in the States, and then I moved to the States, and then I took my master's degree, and just didn't look back.
Yes.
Until I was moving back to Manila, and then I realized...
Just 2 years ago, no?
Speaking of... No.
A year.
You mean when I moved? No, back then it was 01.
Okay. Yeah.
And so, talking about control what you can, I took control of the situation by coming back and by talking about it, because I told Pao, I want to get back into the biz. But I'm not going to pretend that I didn't leave under such weird circumstances.
That's true.
So let's take control of the situation. The first appearance I'm going to have on TV back in the Philippines is on a talk show with you, and let's clear the air.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, people were criticizing me when I came back on air. By the very guy who na nagpaputok ng story.
My God.
Oh, walang parang sinabi, finally inamin mo. Pero, ba't ngayon lang?
Walang...
Diba? Eh, syempre, in my head, at the time, medyo mas mas kalmado na ako. And sinagot ko siya.
And you actually saw him already.
Yeah, and I told him, I didn't do it for you.
Yeah.
I did it for me.
Myself,
and I did it for my own peace of mind.
Yes.
So that I can now continue my showbiz career, or maybe resurrect my showbiz career without having... I mean, I know people will still talk. But they're not talking about me where I'm uncomfortable about it anymore. Why? Tinanggal ko na yung veil eh.
That's true.
Yes, it was me. Yes, I was molested. Is there anything else you want to talk about? There's no mystery anymore. So I kind of in my way, that was my way of controlling the situation.
That's true. Pao, ikaw.
I think I want to add something to what Hans was saying earlier. No, the incident right after it happened, no, although what we would be doing 2020 hindsight, is perfect, we would tell our parents about it.
Yes.
Again, there's that shame. There's that shame. No, when you try to shield them and you blame yourself even for it happening. No, I mean, to people out there who experience something like this, I mean, immediately, if it feels wrong, it is wrong. There's no two ways about it. If you feel uncomfortable about a certain thing that's happening right now, you tell your parents or you tell someone you can trust. 100%, and don't blame yourself. After what happened to me, a lot of people have approached me, similar to what happened to Hans, similar to people getting blackmailed online, asking me how do I how do they get over it. These are male and female who get blackmailed every single day. And I meet with them, we discuss, and we talk.
You never thought of having it as a crusade? Because yung Me Too movement, you felt really strongly about it, no?
As a crusade, not so much.
Diba,
yes, not so much as a crusade, but as a personal mission.
Okay.
Nothing big or extravagant. But these people want to talk to me. They get in touch with me. I meet with them. I discuss with them, and we talk about things that can be done.
And it's one way of healing.
Yes, because kami ni Hans, I think we're in a very select group of individuals who went through this. Who went through this kind of experience.
That's true. Buti na lang nangyari sa inyo kasi you knew how to handle it. Kasi kung ibang tao lang yan.
Not necessarily. You never know how to handle something like this.
Hindi wish na buti sa inyo na nagawa. Kasi parang meron kayong ganung faculty or meron kayong ganung background para matatag na harapin.
I think we have to give credit also to our support group because the support group was really what got us out of that hole. It could have been a hole we dug ourselves, or it could have been a hole we just fell into, but it's the support group that takes you out of that.
People knew that you were good people anyway.
Yes, and who loved us no matter what, who didn't even have to ask questions that doubted your integrity.
Kaya mabalik tayo. That was your Ateneo support, no?
Both Ateneo support, family support,
family support. That's true.
Even Philippine media, the press, the reporters. One thing,
they know the good side of you.
Yung importante yung
nagtanim kayo ng
show that goodwill, all throughout the years. You treat people well, and I think that's one of the things that Hans and I bring every time we're in the showbiz environment.
That's true.
We treat people with respect. We treat people with the kind of dignity and integrity that is due them. And that's why we weren't experiencing the negative effects of media when it happened to us. In fact, they supported us. Not many people were bashing Hans in the media when it happened. Not many people were bashing me because like yung mga kaibigan natin reporter, when we see them, we treat them as friends. We treat them as never as an adversary, never as anyone na iniiwasan mo.
Kumbaga pinag-usapan tayo, pero I don't think meron namang nag-react na buti nga sa'yo.
Wala. Yes.
That's true.
ba?
Yes, yes.
Well,
Or at least I hope so.
no, but with that, parang gaano kahirap to bounce back? Hans, ikaw?
It was difficult. In showbiz, it was not as hard. Kasi doon ako nanggaling at doon ito nangyari.
Kasi feeling sa show business, habang pinag-uusapan ka, pwedeng parang hot copy.
Well, you know,
But in the corporate
as the saying goes, di ba, pinag-uusapan ka. But if you're in an industry where ikaw ang sarili mong produkto,
yun ang mahina. Okay.
it's no issue.
That's true.
But I felt it when I re-entered the corporate world.
Yes.
Like, you know,
kasi ikaw yung HR at nag-assess
sa
ng mga
HR
tao.
pa pumasok, di ba? Hindi man lang kung marketing na medyo bibo yung role
Correct. Judge of character.
Oh, correct. So, in Channel 5, not so much kasi it was still
It's a media establishment.
still a broadcasting. But when I went into Manulife, not so much anymore. It was the in-between. When I went into the call center field, medyo pinag-usapan, medyo nagtatanong pa, hindi ba siya yung ganyan?
Pinagnasahan. Yun na lang siguro.
Ewan ko. But also when I went into a parang sales and business development role where I was talking about technology and payroll software, you know, hindi ko
Did it matter?
I found out that there were some potential clients that were open to having a meeting with me kasi yung pala they wanted to see kung siya nga. Yung ganun lang,
But hey, whatever floats their boat, gets your foot in the door, why not?
Sa akin lang, I look back on it and I don't even look back on it with bitterness. Sa akin lang, basta pumirma ka sa kontrata.
Exactly.
Diba? 20 million yung binili mo. Ang commission ko dadating next month. Masaya na tayo.
How ikaw go?
Yeah, whatever floats your boat, diba? Get your foot in the door. That's what I say. I mean,
going back into the scene.
It
was a reinvention dapat, di ba? Talagang, it was now the
ganito kasi,
the musical POW. Di ba?
I produced a musical show which airs on Signal up until now. And I'm really focusing now on content production.
That's true.
So for 2020, I have a very ambitious project that involves students.
Yes.
And this will be on a major network.
Okay.
And it's probably going to be that reinvention that we're talking
That's
about.
True.
No?
That's
different
true.
part of me wherein I'm not just a talent, I'll be producing the content itself. Taking in all the 24 odd years in the business and just putting it in that one project, which is my passion project.
Galing.
So you have that, and then also the mentoring, the workshops.
Nandun pa rin.
Okay. We're not getting any younger, and we'd like to see, whatever we've learned throughout the years, we want to see it still alive. So we share the knowledge that we can to the younger set, or those who are just willing to learn. I mean, my students, they range from, I have a 15-year-old student, I have a 52-year-old student, and it's so much fun watching them grow.
That's true.
And then they'll message you and they'll say, "Hey, Kuya Pao, guess what? My talent fee's higher now." Or, guess what? I got the gig. I got the 3-day, program. And they message me every now and then asking for advice on, how do I handle this client? They're kind of abusing me now, with what they're asking me to do. Yeah. So it's nice to be that kuya.
Pero yun yung sinasabi ko kay Hans kanina na it's no longer just about us. When we chart careers now or next moves, hindi lang. Parang it has to be, not just about us, but like helping other people, and then parang yun,
higher calling na yun
I think the word really is legacy.
Maybe legacy.
It's really about legacy. And before, our concern was longevity.
That's true.
And now it's really a deeper meaning and purpose in what you're doing. And I'm not talking about the
men and women for others.
It doesn't have to be that extravagant, that big, or that that public. It just really has to be something that when you do it, deep inside that, okay, I'm actually, I'm actually fulfilling my purpose.
Let's go through some media issues bago tayo maubusan ng oras. So that you may have like
maubusan tayo ng oras?
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, number one, yung Me Too movement, and we had that in certain, like, parang yung the Gretchen Farido issue with someone in the network, Mother Network. We talked about that beforehand, and then yung mga beauty contest na meron mga nagrereklamo yung mga organizers.
Yep.
What should people do? Like, how do they guard themselves against?
It's not. You're never going to guard yourself. There will always be predators.
Okay.
But the predators thrive on secrecy and the belief that whoever they prey on will be too ashamed to talk about it. I am a proof of that. Yes. My first reaction was shame. Right? Yeah. So you wanna make a dent. You're never going to change a predator.
Okay.
But you can drag them out into the light.
Okay.
So stop thinking that, we have to stop victim blaming. We have to stop victim shaming.
That's true. Go to the predator.
Go to, sila we seem to forget sila yung gumawa nung mali.
Correct.
Right? We're so petrified of what it will do to us.
Yes.
That we end up protecting them.
That's true.
By keeping our silence.
Because of the power and all.
Yes.
Pao, ikaw naman, yung cyberbullying.
Well, the cyberbullying is such a sad, I guess you can say it's characteristic of this probably the past few 10 years siguro. It was never this bad. I mean, there was no such thing as cyberbullying back when we were starting out in showbiz, but you give people a platform wherein they can be anonymous, wherein they're not accountable for what they say. They will say a lot of stupid things,
and no one's regulating that.
And no one's regulating it. No one's regulating it. I mean, even you talk about your platforms like YouTube, or Facebook even, wherein they don't regulate because they're going to lose the viewers. They're going to lose the likes, the follows, the shares. And for them, it's all about traction.
Yeah.
It's really all about traction. And traction is when two sides are opposing each other, because they don't agree, and the topic is really, they call it borderline. Where you're talking about, say, for example, gay rights, or maybe you're talking about, some race issues.
The more controversial.
The more controversial, the better. The more the more.
You won't play that.
No. I mean, if you look,
you don't see yourself having a YouTube channel.
I see myself having a talk show, yes, but I don't want to be controversial.
Okay.
It has never been in my blood to be that person. I don't want to steer any hornets' nests. I just want to be able to contribute in a positive way.
Okay.
And I believe that there are ways of doing that without stepping on people's toes or trying to be controversial or being risque or provocative. You don't have to be all those things.
Okay.
And the cyberbullying, I mean, yes, it's sad. It's something that cannot be eliminated unless everyone just gets off Facebook, everyone gets off social media. People will always have something to say because there are going to be people with lives that other people want to live.
Yeah, it's true.
And that's the defense mechanism. You put other people down.
Next point about TV being obsolete or parang papunta na doon and eventually going digital. Ano yung reaction? Are you like abreast to that? Do you see yourself like going digital to
Well, no. I'm a living example of that. I moved back to Manila from Hong Kong. Wala na akong cable subscription.
Oh.
So I have a very powerful internet connection in the house, but all the TVs are on Apple TV and Netflix and Hulu and it's content na eh.
Pao, ikaw rin. Ganun.
Yeah, same. But I don't think that
it won't ever be
sa
obsolete.
Philippines, you're talking about probably another 10 years before television completely
never
dies.
go away.
It'll never go away.
The content should be better. Parang ganun.
Yes. I mean, TV is still the one medium wherein, snap of a finger, you can have 35 million viewers just like that. No platform can give you that right now.
Yeah, it's true.
Because again, we have issues with telecommunications, with the internet connection.
Let's go there too. ABS franchise. Anong position dyan? Position nyo dyan?
With
it being threatened na baka hindi ma-renew.
It's an issue that right now, people have to really look into. There are some things that can be done out of vengeance or out of vendetta. Then there are some things that can be done because it should be done because there were laws that were broken, because there were rules that were violated.
It should not be about the parang curtailing press freedom. Hindi dapat yun. Because at least yun yung prinsipyo na dapat hindi ma-violate.
The thing is, a lot of issues are coming out to justify the closure. It could be because the way that employees are treated, the labor issues. It could be the tax deficiencies and all the. At the end of the day, what does the law say? And if it's going to be something that is entirely up to the Congress to decide on, or the president to veto on, what can we do? But if you're saying what's the stand, I mean, of course you don't want a network like that to go down. But more so from the emotional side.
That's true.
Because you have friends in it.
And then them losing jobs.
And them losing jobs. But then babalik ka naman dun sa mga labor issues and whatnot.
That's true.
So
That's true.
it's such a difficult plank to walk, basically.
Hansica.
No, I'm still. Kung si Paolo doesn't want to be controversial, this one I'm kind of a little more hardline on. If they have
Media establishment should be.
No, if they, as an organization, if they have violations on labor,
let them face
then
that.
they better face that.
That's true.
If they have violations on principles of broadcasting and laws, then they should face it. But to order their shutdown because people in power don't like what they're saying is immature. It is bullying. It is exactly the same forces that got them shut down several decades ago.
That's true.
Because for me, the true test of democracy is that I can say at the loudest voice that I can what I think and feel, and that somebody can say what they think and feel to me, and we're all capable of doing that.
Do you feel that you can do that now? Coming back from like a foreign land, nag-Hong Kong ka, na ganyan. Parang mas malaya ka ba ngayon, or are the conditions better now? Or would you rather, punta na lang ka ibang bansa?
No, to be honest, there are still days when I get told by people, sometimes pare, the things you post on Facebook, ang tapang mo.
Actually, oo.
Hindi mo na alam kung sinong nakakabasa niyan.
That's true.
And there's a part of me that says, well, why should I be afraid when I haven't committed libel and I have not committed slander?
Because you're like college self-hands.
Diba? So, but I will concede that times have changed, and in certain cases you do have to watch yourself now kasi it's so widespread, you don't know where it's coming from anymore. I mean, back in the day, you could count in one hand.
Dapat arguments yung pag-usapan, hindi personal.
Ngayon, ad hominem.
That's true.
Personal attacks.
That's true.
Diba? 20 people in a room in another country playing keyboard warrior because they're paid to do so. Those are the stuff that you don't see anymore.
But you have to deal with once in a while.
But regardless of what it is, if that is meant to change things in a way that people are now afraid to speak their mind, I'll be damned if I'm gonna be one of them. That's not happening, right? That will not prevail. That should not.
No,
prevail.
hindi nga mangyayari. But what politics cannot do, you see, what media is kind of afraid to say, sabi nila the artists can at least. Di ba? Parang kasi yung mga artists, pero takot din kasi dati may protest art. Dati we'd have susunod na ngayon wala.
And again, this is what social media has done. It's created, and what social media both polarizes and creates fear. Whether it's unfounded fear or it's actual fear, that should be feared. That is the purpose of social media. That's why if you look at all of the news that's there, it's really about the negative things that can happen.
That's true. There's so much hate, no, Pao?
And look, I mean, I come
as a victim of social media,
having come from the news. You talk about the news not being biased, but then there has to be a certain bias. There has to be a certain, and when I say that, it's like, for example,
the truth, diba?
For the truth. And like, for example, if you're trying to decide, okay, headlines, what do we put first? That's a bias in itself. So there's no such thing as no bias. And again, to your point, it's bias for the truth. Now, with
or
this
bias to people, to something that would be helpful for more people.
Yes.
Pag gano'n sa majority, hindi yung sa ilan lang.
Yung sa mas nakararami, right? And again, I agree with Hans, that there's sometimes that you really do have to have a hard stance on certain things. And with this thing that's happening right now, it's a combination of both fear. That's why a lot of celebrities don't want to speak out, lest they experience the wrath of the keyboard warriors Hans was mentioning. And on the other side, there's also a certain fear not to speak out, because what if the network takes it against them that, hey, When we were being attacked, where were you?
Nasaan ka doon, Pao?
In what?
Yun dun sa position. Si Hans kasi hindi siya silence. Parang gano'n. You'll still make those comments like in college. Ikaw,
Sa akin, I think
you'd be more creative.
I'll be more creative.
Ikakanta na lang ni Pao.
Bottom line for me is, ano ba ang dahilan kung bakit i-shut down? And that's where you base whether it's correct or not.
That's true.
Is it a personal thing? Then obviously it's not correct. Is it because of this, that, list of violations? Then yeah, maybe we should look into that.
What issues do you feel strongly about now in society?
In society?
In society now. Ikaw traffic, no?
Sorry?
Kasi ikaw, comment ka ng comment sa traffic. Kasi sabi mo nga, nanggaling ka sa Hong Kong at nagagalit na yung mga tao dito tanggap ang type na ng Pinoy
Yeah.
kasi parang may learned helplessness.
No, you know, a lot of we have to stop
Passive
patting ourselves on the back and saying we're a very accepting people. We're too tolerant. We tolerate it and we speak out on social media, but are we ever really going to hold people accountable for their leadership roles, which they have not done properly? We're too tolerant.
That's
right.
That's true. Sabi ko nga, kayo dapat yung mga taong namumuno kasi yun nga parang you know how to like deal with it. Pero sabi niyan, hindi ako tatakbo sa elective office.
Hindi ko kaya ng...
Pero pwede kang maging traffic czar.
Look, my point is, there's a part of me that really wants to serve the country, but I know myself. It would have to be an appointed role. You give me a goal, you give me a time frame, and I will.
What do you feel passionate about?
Oh my gosh!
So pwede mong okay. Ang traffic problem kaya.
Give me the airport, give me tourism, give me LTO, give me MMDA, something transport that affects the everyday Filipino.
And you'll make it work.
Right, and that's something that I will dive into because.
And you feel strongly about it.
Yeah, it's I see it as problem and then I'll go for solution. That's it. It's not I'm doing this for a legacy.
Yes.
I come from a political family. Hindi naman sa nagmamayabang. I don't need the money. You know, I'm doing this because I genuinely want to fix a problem.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah. You know, it's exciting, you know, to be alive nowadays again because you see so many things from a different perspective.
That's true.
And you learn that, okay, this is not worth my stress, worth my...
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Pinipili mo na, di ba?
You get to choose and you get to decide, okay, this one I'll allow to stress me out a bit because this is going to affect people who are important to me.
Yes.
No? I like the traffic issue. Why? Because we can see that they're trying to come up with solutions and let's challenge them. Are these roads and bridges and flyovers and you know and new construction projects that are ongoing and are about to be completed, are they really going to decongest traffic? It'll be nice to challenge them and say, okay, it worked, or hey, it's not working. Why is EDSA still like this?
That's good.
You know, then we hold them accountable.
Yes.
You know, for that.
Or papatayin mo ang ride sharing pero tinanong mo ba yung nagbe-benefit from ride sharing? Because you're taking it from the view of a regulator.
Yes.
Have you ever looked at the view of the customer, the one
Right.
impacted the most? Bakit
Yes.
mo tatanggalin
The
yan?
one whose lives are
Correct. Correct.
Yeah.
Yung nagtatrabaho at yung nakikinabang
Yeah.
doon sa transpo.
Right, right.
Those are the ones that are impacted the most. But the decisions are made by people who neither commute to work or have any
Right.
idea what the commuting public is going through. So
True.
I guess, Noel, that's where my passion is
That's
coming
true.
from. When you
Yes.
give me a problem, you're right. I've had the benefit of living in different countries.
Yes.
And I see what we've really missed out as a country dahil nga talaga sa pangungurakot is the basic services.
Yeah.
You live in Hong Kong, CEOs take the bus.
Yeah.
Because it works.
Yeah.
Because it's on time.
And it's safe.
Right? And it's safe.
And if there are problems, people will just say things. And they're on the street.
Correct. And you know, I always tell this because people ask me, what's the best thing you learned about your living in Hong Kong? Alam mo, nung lumabas yung pork barrel scam, even for me, 10 billion pesos is too abstract a figure. It is. I cannot wrap my head around what is 10 billion pesos.
Yes.
Until I lived in a more progressive country. And now I can go back to my home country and tell the people affected the most, is you go to the rural areas and you tell them 10 billion is hindi ka na natatakot pag may bagyo kasi yung bahay mo semento. 10 billion is yung anak mo libre ang pag-aaral until college. Yung magulang mo libre ang gamot. Yung basic services, 'di ba? Na hindi ka nakapila ng 3 oras para lang pumasok at uuwi ka ng 3 oras sa gabi. That's, to me, I've now quantified what 10 billion stolen money could have done for my country.
Ka kasi pamilya.
Because I've seen it. Yeah. So again, when you talk about what can we do for the country, you give me a problem like traffic, it affects us all.
That's true.
Right? And the people affected most are the ones that really, I have employees. The ones, these guys are commuting 3 hours one way. To the point na I tell them, magtrabaho ko sa bahay, what are you doing?
That's true.
Diba? But we have to be, those of us that have the capability to make decisions, should be making decisions for the greater good and not just for those of us who will benefit the most. Alam mo yun?
Mga tao latak na energy.
Sorry, kasi in my view, ibabalik ko, asan tayo? Nasa Ateneo tayo. My understanding of a man for others is to do something that will benefit the collective good, not yourself or not a select few.
That's true. Ikaw, Pao.
For me, it's really a transition from, right after you graduate from college.
Yung self to others.
Yeah, it's more self for a while. You try to build your, identity, who you are, your resources, and then there'll come a point in time when you're gonna decide, now is the time. Now it's for the collective others. Now it's for all of them na.
Okay, mag-collective ka dyan, but Hans is very specific when he talks about his family. Yung tipong tama yun, yung quality na tipong maaga ka alis, pag uwi mo, you have to tend to your kids na nag-homeschool. Pao, ikaw, kailan? Kailan?
Wow.
Okay, hindi man. Patapos na tayo, pero
sanggaling yun.
Sanggaling yun, pero Pao.
The dream is still there. The dream is still there to have my own family. The dream is still there to be, a father to 1 or 2 kids.
Baka naman kasi, so the collective, the bigger picture that you're so,
that's
about. It has to be rooted into something more complete and personal.
That's the challenge now. The challenge now is trying to find that balance to be able to satisfy both. Wherein I do have the vision of the business and everything and the things that I'm going to be doing. It is really connected to that legacy.
Sige.
So one day, hopefully 2020 is the year where things happen.
Pwede kami may pa-date sa'yo ulit pagtulad ni Pia. Pwede bang gano'n?
I look at Paulo and what he does now, and he's mentoring so many people.
Yeah.
So this was a guy who transitioned from being one of the country's, and I like to believe still is, one of the country's best hosts.
Yeah.
And he's now teaching other people.
Parang anak na rin niya yun.
Diba? So, yun nga yun. You're passing your capabilities and your love.
Tama naman yun. So, now, let's go through mga sana ninyo. Yan, sana for yourself. Ikaw.
Sana?
What else? Yeah, go. Given you're almost 50,
alam mo, pangalawang beses mo na yan sa loob ng 2 oras.
I think we have 4 more years before we hit that.
4 more years. Yeah.
Pag binalik, ano yung sana ni Han sa sarili na?
Sarili?
Oo, sa sarili mo na.
Sana may oportunidad akong tumulong sa mas maraming tao.
Maganda naman.
With my, yung gamit yung kakayahan ko.
But you know now what to share, no? At least at this point. Because you cannot share what you don't have.
I know. But even at 45, I'm already thinking, how do I envision myself at retirement? And it's me teaching in a public school. It's me with some sort of advocacy while enjoying my retirement.
Nice.
So I cannot envision myself just enjoying and yung travel and this and that na wala akong give back component.
That's true. Kulang sa atin yan.
Kulang eh. I could not sleep at night. Na kung sarili ko lang yung pinapaligaya ko.
Itong tao na palaging give back. Give back component.
My sana would be sana I can continue doing what I'm doing, and this 2020 it could be even
business
bigger.
Better? You're into business, Pao. Is it
yes.
Is the climate okay?
It's okay. I do both public and private contracts for the government project. It's a bit, for lack of a better term, mas libuot. For the private naman.
Buti nakakaya mo yan, Pao.
Well,
May ibang rigor yan eh. Pag
if you ask me to choose, I would choose private over the public any day because
I see you more doing CSRs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, I dream of building schools one day. I dream of putting up, establishments for alternative learning. These are things that you really want to be able to sink your teeth into it. And you have to meet the right strategic partners to make it happen. So my sana is really, sana tuloy-tuloy lang ang nangyayari. The past 2019, I've said goodbye to it. This 2020, starting out really, really well. I look forward to giving back. There's a certain excitement in giving back. Yung ginagawa namin at church is you don't think about it when you give,
Bigay lang.
And
ikaw naman yun, bigay ka naman talaga ng bigay pa.
Because there is a return.
Okay.
And that return is in a way, shape, and form that you'd never expect. But in value is so much more than what you gave. And that is a tried and tested formula. I challenge anyone to try it for even a month to give back. My gosh, magugulat kayo. Magugulat kayo.
So selfless. But ito, ang panalangin namin ni Han sa'yo, maganda at magaling na strategic partner.
Uy, paano naging panalangin ko yun?
No. Are you with someone now?
Yes.
Okay. Okay
Yes.
pa rin. Sayang papapadit sana kami sa'yo. Pwede.
I'm off the market.
Talaga? At long term na yan.
Yeah. I mean, you reach a certain age wherein you're like, okay, this has got to be it.
Sinasabi.
This has got to be it. And
Nahawa na kami sa'yo, Noel. Tanggap na namin yung edad namin.
Kailangan. And then yun nga, parang community, for our community, ano yung sana mo? That's for yourself.
For the community, one of the things that I've witnessed, and Ans and I have seen, especially with our batch, is that man for others spirit is still alive.
That's true.
We just have to stoke that fire, that flame, and make it even bigger because you have no idea how much resources we have.
That's true.
And it's just a matter of people committing and saying that, you know what, I have this, I'm giving this. I have this. That collective is so huge.
But do you get the feeling that now, parang people are more parang worry about acting yun sa collective? Maganda nga may mga calamities kasi doon natitest talaga yung pagtutulungan ng mga tao. Pero parang there's a certain system that made us parang divided. Yung tipong, hayaan mo din sa baba mag-away-away pero kasi tayo komportable.
Okay.
Parang now, I hope there'll be more
similar to what
pagsasama para makatulong sa iba.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt had a TED Talk and he talked about how nowadays as an artist, attention is actually your enemy. Because when you create something for the sake of attention, the integrity of the artwork is now compromised. So when we post things, when we help, the tragedies that are happening all around us, and people start questioning that, we start questioning ourselves.
That's true.
Kaya nga at a certain point, lumabas na yung mga issue na do celebrities post the help that they're giving others at the risk of being criticized na, you're just doing it for Instagram, you're just doing it for Facebook. Imagine mo, ultimo tulong mo, kine-question na at binabahiran yung intention mo.
Yeah, but at a certain
That's
point,
really sad.
You just have to say,
just do it. You just have
whether or not the collective is behind me, my heart's in the right place. I'm here to help. Now, you want to post stuff, somebody takes a picture of you helping, and then they say, tignan mo to nagpapakitang tao. You know what? I'm not doing it for the... My focus is on the people I'm helping. If I have helped them...
But see, here's the thing. You're mature enough to think that way and to actually act that way. A lot of the people in showbiz, they're still very wary of image. They're so wary of, I posted this, tas bigla lang criticize sila, sasagutin nila. I wish more people were like you because then what's going to happen if more people were like Hans? Mas maraming aatras
That's true.
Mas maraming aatras
Or wala na sa social media.
Or wala sa social media. Exactly.
Yun lang. No, I mean, I think what I'm trying to say is it's not that I'm sort of putting myself out there as some brash person who doesn't care. It's really just care for the right thing. The rest is noise.
Yeah.
Right? At the end of the day, if you want to help the people in Taal,
Yeah.
Just do it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
To hell with whatever comes out on social media. Now,
Yeah.
as long as you can look at yourself in the mirror and know, I'm doing this for the people in need.
That's true.
Right? Wala kang dalang press,
Yeah.
wala kang dalang PR.
Yeah.
Ginawa mo na lang, di ba? And you're there to help. Or it doesn't have to be Taal. Anybody you want to help, just do it.
Yeah.
My question naman for you, for the people listening out there, especially who can benefit from it, no, is how do you block out that static, that noise? Because there's just so much. What is the, I guess you could say, North Star to determine?
Paula sa sarili na.
No, but what's that North Star to determine? Okay, this is the only thing that really matters to me.
Yeah.
You know, how would you give advice to the kids nowadays?
Na ang daming
noise.
Right.
How do you sift through those?
Ask yourself, who and what are you doing this for?
That's palagi, no?
Right?
Yeah.
Para kanino?
And that is a principle even in customer service. What are we doing this for? We're doing it for the customer. So
Right.
everything we design is for a greater customer experience. If you're helping somebody, right, ask yourself first and foremost, why are you so
Bakit
passionate
at
about it?
kanino?
Yes.
Why are you passionate about it? If the answer is
It's just beyond you.
these people need help,
Right.
That's true.
then that's
Right.
all that should matter.
Right.
That's true.
Right? Because then you ask yourself, if I don't do it, what's the danger?
Yeah.
The danger is the people that could have benefited from your help don't get it.
Right.
If I do it,
Yeah.
what's the worst thing that can happen? Idiots I don't care about will talk
Right.
about me for 5 minutes.
Right.
But I have helped 10 to 15 people who needed it. At the end of the day, the cream rises to the top.
Sure.
That's good enough.
That's it. I
Beautiful.
try to not overthink it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chito Miranda also said the same
Yes.
thing. Diba? Now, if
Yes,
celebrities
just do it.
post and at the end of the day, the result of that post is that people are inspired to help,
That's true.
then by all means,
Yes.
post.
Country now. Prayer for country. Now, for someone OFW dati, ganun nandito ka na.
Ako.
Future traffic czar.
Oh man, you see yourself staying here. Sana naman, Hans.
Yeah. I don't have any plans in the near or longer future to depart. Plans for the country. Wow.
Or your prayer, or your wish for the country now. Having seen a different perspective or the bigger picture, I guess.
Yeah, you know what? My prayer is based on a realization that we need to stop comparing ourselves to countries like Singapore. We'll never get there.
Or even Vietnam.
I've been I've been to Vietnam, and again,
iba
this is
rin,
not to put the Filipino down, because we are capable of so much.
That's true.
But I think we honestly, the one characteristic that I have seen of the other developing countries, not Singapore, not Hong Kong, those are way above our reach.
Yes.
But when you look at Vietnam, who's overtaken us, Malaysia, these are countries, I see in the people there a respect for the collective good beyond themselves. Because in Vietnam, mag-traffic ka dyan, oh my God, it's pandemonium. Pero it's pandemonium na hindi nila iniisahan yung isa't isa. They get to where they're going without seeing it or get or whatever. And that's just one aspect. I take a look at them and they still believe in the greater good above their own personal. I mean, it's not that they don't have personal hopes and dreams, right? But they respect the country. They respect the people. Na parang kung gawin ko to, ito yung impact sa ibang tao na masama, ay hindi ko gagawin. 'Di ba? Yun lang. That's my prayer, is the internal na parang
Beyond ourselves. See the bigger picture.
be considerate of your fellow man more than your personal desires. Yun lang.
Ikaw, for our country, for someone who's been here, and someone, I think you're in a political family, so I think I see yourself as being in a leadership role in the future.
Well, not really in the immediate plans. I don't really see myself as a politician, but I do see myself,
service,
yes, in some way, shape, or form, public service. Yes. My wish is that people love the country more. And that, if people show and express that love, that they don't get affected by people who ridicule them for showing that kind of love. Yun ang malungkot, di ba? Pinapakita mo mahal mo yung bansa, tapos bash ka, sinisiraan ka pa.
Yes.
And the sad thing, sana a lot of people were like, I don't care what other people say, but unfortunately they do care so much. So my wish is, I wish that people wouldn't care so much what other people think, especially those people that Hans mentioned that you don't really care about.
He's saying it for himself.
You know, you don't care about. You know,
gagawin mo lang yan.
I guess my advice for other people, especially, is if these people don't put food on your table, then they don't really matter.
Galing.
They shouldn't matter.
Nice way of synthesizing those things. But then let's end with Ateneo. So now that we're here, no, what was the best advice you've gotten from whom? Yung naalala nyo hanggang ngayon, tangan-tangan at hawak-hawak nyo kahit nasan kayo. And you remember Ateneo for?
Ooh, okay.
Para may yung last thought natin. Oo nga, no, that's something I learned from school.
Ako muna, sige.
Yeah, go.
In Cebol, we have a constitution there, and one of the things that we really hold dear is the saying, "The mens sana in corpore sano," which is healthy mind, healthy body. And all throughout my life, that's really something that I've been striving for each and every day, to be able to have that balance between a healthy mind. And when you say healthy mind, it's not just about academics. It's not just about knowledge. It's really having that kind of peace of mind that you're in a place right now that you're supposed to be in. Na ito yung purpose mo talaga. And I think
present in the moment.
And you're present in the moment.
No one can your equanimity. No?
Oo. Kaya, I mean,
disturb that. No one can
people have to literally stop and smell the roses more. Because there's so much happening around you and you're focused on getting a good shot.
That's true. Do you have that rule at home? Less social media, like converse? Kasi di ba mag-focus sa mga tao?
The kids aren't allowed gadgets on weekdays.
Okay. May ganung rule.
Unless it's educational purpose, like they're watching their lessons.
Okay.
Good. So,
Ikaw,
for me, it was...
best advice that you still hold?
Yeah. It was, if you're going to set out and do something, then do it well.
Walang middle ground. Hindi.
Kasi andun ka na eh. Right? Don't commit half-assed. Don't be pasang-awa.
That's true.
Right? You're gonna
nanalo ka ng faces eh.
Diba?
Kahit ano nangyari, nanalo ka eh.
In college, it applied to you're here for a semester.
That's true.
Then work hard at
Do
it.
it well.
And do it well. Do you have to be perfect? No. Do you have to be the highest in the class? No.
Yeah.
But do it well.
Yeah.
Because that habit you carry with you, eventually you will choose to be a husband. Be a good one. Eventually you choose to be a father. Be a good one.
Ayan na.
One day you will be a boss. Be a good one. While you are still an employee, be a good one.
That's
Diba? Whatever role you choose to be, what I learned from the Ateneo is, you can choose whatever your interests are. Diba? Nobody's saying you have to have specific interests. But once you choose, Atenista ka eh. Be a good one.
That's true.
Don't be a mediocre one.
Or
right?
be the best in that.
Be the best. Be a role model. Be an inspiration. Be something positive. Andiyan ka na eh.
So that's it. We tie this all up with that thought na, oo nga, ang dami niya ng pinagdaanan. And now we're back here in this institution that taught us that, being good, simply being good, and simply being the best. And really the need for a support group like this. Yun nga ako, kailangan na talaga. Kasi ang dami nagsasabi, paglabas nyo dyan, our being Athenians are held against us. So, parang, kasi, mga Atenista kayo lang. But in the end, we regroup like this and say, oo nga, no, we challenge everyone with one thing. It's yung konsensya. That's something we're really born with as Athenians, I guess. Yung tipo, ang lakas na konsensya natin na hindi lang pwedeng atin lang. Parang yun. It's really for that collective, for that common good. Yun nga. Maraming salamat. It's been a long time since we
Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you. Okay, say your goodbyes to everyone, your batchmates.
Well, to all of our batchmates, shout out.
Soon.
We're not talking about a date yet.
Not yet.
Once again, shout out to the batch. High School 92, College 96. Some of them are listening, actually.
Actually, yeah. Thanks, guys, for tuning in.
We love.
Thanks for the comments.
Si Miren, nakikinig. Si Clint Navales.
Yes. Clint, hello. Nasa Singapore.
Clint, Joel Caballa, Miren.
I'm meeting with Margot. Margot loves you, from McDonald's.
Yes, of course.
So, parang we've had interactions with people in the industry, and then nung sasabihin nila, ay, ang mga yan, mabubuting tao. At least na, di ba? At least nasasabi nila na gano'n. In the end, ano man yung issues na pinagdaanan
Sana.
Anong sana?
Hindi, yeah.
Yun mga taong yun. And then, thank you for leveling up with us. And Kong Hei Fat Choy.
Kong Hei Fat Choy.
Happy Chinese New Year, yes.
Gong
We'll
Si
see you
Fat
again
Chai.
next week. Dito lang sa Ateneo Level Up. Thank you very much. Ganda.
Taon na lang pareho din ang iyong pinplano. Ngayon mo na kailangan ng totoong pagbabago.
Di kailanman mapipigilan pagbuhos ng ulan. Ang buhay sadyang ganyan.
At kaya ng papago-bagong pag-ihip ng hangin. Lahat ay lilipas at magsasalita.
Huwag kang mabahala, huwag mataranta. Hindi kailangan ang mag-alilangan pa.
Isipin mo laging nandito lamang ang aking balikat, sa'yo'y nakaabang.
Asahan mo, hindi ka iiwan sa mundo. Lahat may hangganan, asahan mo. Wala nang atrasan sa iyong bawat hakbang na pupuntahan. Pangako kailanman, agad akong nandyan. Sang tawag mo lang.
At tuwing nagdidilim ang langit, di ba't nagpapakita ang buwan hanggang mag-umaga.
Wala nang atrasan sa iyong bawat hakbang na pupuntahan. Pangako kailanman, agad akong nandyan. Sang tawag mo lang. Asahan mo, hindi ka iiwan sa mundo. Lahat may hangganan, asahan mo. Wala nang atrasan sa iyong bawat hakbang na pupuntahan. Pangako kailanman, agad akong nandyan. Sang tawag mo lang. Sang tawag